All right, y'all. So we live. It's live. I'd like to welcome anybody and everybody to the Manga Kickback. I'm your host with the not so much of the most, Tesmo Gizmo. I got my country cousin from the Sunshine State, Mr. Nella Trey, in here with me, and we got a guest today. The how would you put it?
The Almighty King Mars, the one
No,
not clone me. That's who I am.
The Almighty King of Troll. The Almighty King of Troll, Almighty King Mars. Say what up to the people, man.
Yo, what it do?
All right,
everybody.
So today's episode, people, we're going to be talking about something that's very controversial amongst a lot of the people in this community, myself included. Controversial comes across. I'm dropping stuff. Lord, today just ain't my day. Plot and development, and amongst plot and development, which shows, mainly Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, which had the better plot, story, character development, and etc. And maybe a few other ones that may get thrown in. So to start, I'm personally gonna just throw my own. I'm going with Naruto. I just, as far as the DBZ versus Naruto thing, but we'll dive deeper into what makes, like I said, a good show, what gives it good plot and good development. Trey, where you casting your vote, man?
Before that. So I just want to clarify. Are we doing the whole show?
Yes,
from,
we'll do the
Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Super, and like Naruto all the way to Naruto Boruto.
As far as Naruto goes,
Naruto to Naruto Shippuden, or in like Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Super.
I'm mad
I need
what
to
you
know
said
where.
But yeah, so as far as Naruto goes, we'll go Naruto to Shippuden. Boruto is still in its infancy stage, so it doesn't really hold much weight. It's all right, but it's in its own category of starting over. So now it's doing exactly what I like. It shows building the character development, plot, all that good stuff. Dragon Ball, we'll count Dragon Ball into Dragon Ball Super. Except you gotta leave. Well, we already know GT's not gonna be in there, so yeah, we
no longer canon.
we won't put GT in any bit of that. You never know, bro. They make F-Around and make Super Saiyan 4 canon somehow, but yeah. So we'll just cover it from Goku's. So like I said, it's gonna cover
Dragon
who
Ball
you pick.
to Dragon Ball.
Yeah, from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Super, because most of that all still does kind of line up, give or take some changing there, here and there.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify before we.
Oh yeah, it's all good. So how y'all casting y'all vote?
Dragon Ball.
What?
I'm dumbfounded.
I'm dumbfounded.
Oh man,
I'm even more thusly dumbfounded.
I'm so glad somebody agrees with me.
What?
Dragon Ball. I'll explain why.
Okay, wait, that's what this is all about. Explaining it. Oh man, I'm just. Now, Trey, go ahead. Explain away.
So, as big as a fan as I am of Naruto, and more of a fan of Naruto Shippuden, if I'm putting it apples to apples, like pound for pound, the reason why I say Dragon Ball is because of Dragon Ball, not even Dragon Ball Z. Naruto, like the original Naruto when they were kids, was almost like a. Let me see, how can I put it? Naruto was like. Final Fantasy is a good example. Final Fantasy 14, when you have to get to a certain level before you can do dungeons.
Yeah.
You don't really. Nobody wants to do that. You really just want to run dungeons with your boys. You don't want to get in there and be like, oh, I got to grind it out. Like, Naruto is the grinding stage till you get to Naruto Shippuden. That's how I see it. Naruto was actually more predictable than Dragon Ball to me. One of the only few things that caught me by surprise was when Rock Lee lost in the Chunin exams and when Naruto failed the Chunin exam. Those were some of the two things I was like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen. I expected Sasuke to leave. I expected him to be an edgelord I expected him and Naruto to have this falling out and all of this, that, and the third. And Naruto, we're talking about strictly plot and development, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I could start complaining about fillers. But plot and development, well, fillers do go into this. Naruto had a bad habit with fillers where it halts the story's progress. And Dragon Ball Super just had bad pacing. But Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, mostly Dragon Ball, had a good, well-paced story.
Yeah.
Had real stakes. Because at that point, like in Dragon Ball Z, death wasn't really seen as a big deal. It was like, oh, whatever. In DBZ, you're just like, oh, they died, they'll be wished back. But in Dragon Ball, when somebody died, it felt real. Like when Crillon died, Chaozu died, Master Roshi, like all that felt real. And they actually had to take the time. I enjoyed going on these adventures with Goku to collect these Dragon Balls. Like the whole Red Ribbon Army arc just blew me away. The tournament arc, the worldwide tournament, that was really good. Expected Goku to win, he didn't. But with Naruto, as good as it was animated, and as cool as the concept was, that's what I liked about Naruto. I just liked the concept of ninjas. I was like, okay, ninjas are real cool. But plot and development wise, Naruto was kind of tropey to me. It was just like, oh, this guy has an evil spirit in him, and this other guy is just an edgelord. Like, I really don't know how else to describe Sasuke.
An edgelord.
Like the emo king.
I said that man's an edgelord.
And it just got to the point where also, and I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna do Shippuden versus DBZ, Dragon Ball versus Naruto. In Dragon Ball, like a lot of characters had some fleshing out, some character development. In Naruto, they were just thrown in. Like they focused on Team 7 the most. And then when they did show other teams, you didn't really learn much about them. You learned whatever new technique they worked on during the time they weren't on screen. Made it difficult to connect with any of those characters.
That was one of my things too.
And in Naruto, like, let me see what a lot of people like to say. They like to say like the whole story of Naruto was really good. They really enjoyed it. But I mean, Naruto tells you what's going to happen by the end of the show on the first episode. He's going to be the Hokage. And at no point did I think he wasn't going to be the Hokage by the end of the series.
At some points, I did. I personally didn't think. Well, because the way they set it up, though. But the way they set it up, though, I'm just like, there's no way. And as you see, he didn't actually become Hokage in the end. It was like after his whole little marriage thing. But even then, like it you know, Kakashi was still Hokage. So I'm like, technically, he wasn't Hokage even when his show ended.
Okay, I'll give you that.
That's all I'm saying. He didn't become Hokage until, you know, the Boruto started. So technically, in his own show, he didn't end up being what he wanted to be. He ended off just a good war. He was a great warrior after the war and all that stuff. On the technicality, though.
Okay, another thing. Let's talk villains, right? So in Naruto, you had, let me see, Zabuza was first. Was Zabuza first?
Yeah, Zabuza was the first real villain that they ever had to face.
Yeah, you had Zabuza. Zabuza was a small-time criminal, and compared to everybody else in the ninja world. And then you had the introduction of Orochimaru. And when you look into these villains' reasoning for doing what they did or their story, it's pretty lame. Like, Orochimaru can hardly be considered a villain to me because he's just an agent of chaos. Orochimaru just didn't like for things to be stagnant. He wanted something to be exciting, and he liked to experiment. So he didn't really have any, like, in-game goals other than to obtain every jutsu and be immortal. But that was just so he could find more jutsu.
I mean, true, but then
like,
what was the premise of, you know, DBZ?
I'm going to take over the world, or I'm going to obtain all these jutsu. I'm going to destroy every hidden village.
True, but I was saying, like, what was the point of DBZ? You know, Dragon Balls. I wanted, and most of them who came for the Dragon Balls, immortality. It's like you could pick and pull certain things out of the exact same thing.
I'm about to get into that. That's why I said let's talk villains.
All right, villainry.
So Frieza was already a villain by the time he decided he wanted immortality.
God tier.
He was already a villain. Frieza ran an entire armada, had his own planet, was brokering off other planets, had a whole other race doing his dirty work for him, and then was destroying planets at the command of the God of Destruction.
God tier.
So he's not God tier, bro.
That way, like when I see things like that, especially with villains, it makes me feel okay. Somebody's calling some shots somewhere. Frieza felt like a real threat. Orochimaru felt like somebody they kind of let do what he wanted until they decided they wanted to deal with him. That's one of the major differences I saw. But even if we got into other villains, Cell wasn't really worried about immortality. First, he wanted to kill Goku, then he just decided he was going to destroy the Earth. He didn't feel like as much of a threat as Frieza to me, just because he didn't even make it off planet Earth.
Yeah.
But then you have Majin Buu, which I call he's more of a force of nature. But Majin Buu, once again, just blowing up planets. His goal was the destruction of the universe. That was his goal. Period. So he just wanted to destroy everything. Now, if we move into more Naruto villains, let's go into Naruto shit. You still have Orochimaru. You have Kabuto, and then you have the real deal Holyfield villains, Toby and Madara.
Yeah.
So Obito wanted to create a utopia. It was the typical for the greater good type of villainy. It was, oh, okay, well, I'm doing this because I want the world to be fair. I want the world to be better because my world was so screwed up, and now I want everyone else's experience to be better. So this is why I'm doing all this evil stuff.
Okay.
And in Dragon Ball Z, these dudes are just unapologetically evil. They doing it because that's what they want to do. And it's just at no point to me did any of the Naruto villains feel like a threat.
I mean, both in both senses of threat. The DBZ villains, as far as their threat level, yeah, way bigger, except when you get to like Madara. That, you know, Madara and the Obito, the completely different level. Yes.
They were on a different level, but none of them were on Kid Buu's level.
No, that's what I mean. Like most of the DBZ level threats were all planetary. Like anything in Naruto was never, yeah, even that. Universal, like you can't. Hey Taco, thank you for the bits, fam. It can't be put the same way because it was never exactly the same way. But still, just because I want to, I'm gonna do it. Most of the actual villains in Naruto had a legit reason. Excluded, like you said, I will give you that. Excluding Orochimaru, my man he wanted a means to his own, you know, thing. I want to live long enough to collect and see, or scientifically explore, experiment, and develop. It is that I feel is what's the term old boy from Boy Meets World called it? Sorry, getting sideswiped. It was the episode when his brother became like a weird roaming traveling dude. His Manifesto, there it is. Yes, that's pretty much all Orochimaru's whole basis of him being in their universe is. That man wants to compile a manifesto of everything and anything that's possible and make the undone done. That was it. But in hindsight, you know how most people take on the twisted term of even if it means I have to do bad to, you know, meet my own means, I'm gonna do it. But still, the heroes and villains from Naruto, the reasons they fought, just completely different. I get that Kid Buu was, a force of nature. Cell, I still don't even 100% understand Cell in the sense he could take over a whole planet universe. He's a rigmarole of everything and everybody to a degree. The Saiyans, especially even with Vegeta when he first came in, they were just, like you said, they were just evil for the sake of being evil. Like, I don't see anything that developed from that. We got development from Vegeta's change from the dark side to the middle to the good side.
Because we were talking about development, and Vegeta's development eclipses everything else we're talking about.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's a whole nother category. But then, like, my comparison from Dragon Ball to just Naruto, even with it just being Zabuza, most of those scenes, and I'm a person who doesn't like much of the filler in Naruto. I love Naruto for its entirety, excluding the fillers that don't capture a canon into the show. Every little moment in that Zabuza fight was a learning moment. It was something happening. You were learning something about Naruto, Sasuke, learning something about Kakashi. In small ways, they went from what you already knew from Team 7 to you're getting to see a little bit more of Team 7. From even watching Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. Goku, as far as Goku goes, as far as Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, they all developed in their own way also. But as far as just Goku, he's literally the plot point from DB to DBZ. It was always the same. I'm just saying, he was always the same. If you see Goku, yes, he gets stronger, he learns things, he fights. That's all. I mean, I love the show, and this is one thing I want people to always remember. Also, can't nobody sit here and say DBZ ain't have some episodes that just got on your nerves. I mean, Naruto takes the cake with the fillers, but I can't count how many times I was sitting there like, hold up, y'all wasted my whole episode talking and powering up, bruh. We gotta let that be known. Dragon Ball has its moments too.
You're absolutely right. But this is my point with Naruto and DBZ. When it came to Naruto, like you said, you learn more about Sasuke, you learn more about Naruto, you learn more about Kakashi. Who else did you learn about through the series?
Thank you.
Ino, hold up, and let me address that. I learned more about Ino, Shikamaru, Gaara. I mean, there's certain people, like if you take the entirety of everyone you learned and you saw develop compared to who you learned and saw develop in DBZ, they don't match up. Naruto outweigh it.
Gaara's development took one episode and a time skip.
That's what I'm saying. You really don't learn like development.
You don't really learn about that character. You learn
really like fillers.
You get a glimpse of his past, and then he's the Hokage with a better sense of justice.
Kazekage.
Whatever.
Yeah, Kazekage with a better sense of justice. That's what I'm saying. Like I love Naruto, but what I'm saying is those main Team 7 characters are the ones that really got fleshed out. You had a whole saga about Piccolo's people in Dragon Ball Z.
Well, that was literally Piccolo's, and I'm just gonna say that was Piccolo's homecoming. Even though they dropped the ball on that, that could have been way more flushed about Piccolo. Also, relearning his Namekian roots, X, Y, and the third. But
the only person that knew about his roots was dead.
That's true.
Nah, Popo knew about him.
All Popo knew is that an alien crash landed on Earth
from another planet called Namek.
That's what he knew. And he knew how to speak some Namekian just because Kami would do it in his sleep. That was it. But
they dropped the ball on that.
Guru knew who Piccolo's parents were. All of that stuff. But Guru died. And you see how old he was? But my whole thing is they spent an entire, during the Namekian saga, I got to see other people that looked like Piccolo, see what their values were, what they believed in, all of this stuff. You have movies in place to help you get a glimpse of Planet Vegeta. Right?
So crazy.
You can see what Planet Vegeta is like.
I'm glad Della is here.
Mars, shut your ass.
I'm glad Della is here because they really tried to make me see.
No, see, to the degree that Nella's explaining it, you were just like, nah, it don't. Mars being Mars, he just go like, nah, it don't. No, nope. So you couldn't explain it. You couldn't give facts.
when I see people speak about the Dragon Ball series, most of the time, most people are focused on the fighting. I'm not gonna lie, that's what people focus on in Dragon Ball. They're gonna focus on the fights, but there is an underlying plot. Goku is Goku. He is. You're right. Goku is Goku. I don't really like. I don't care about Goku.
Like that, there ain't nothing else to it to Goku. It's just he gonna get stronger. He gonna fight. Goku's got the universal plot on.
But we're aware that there are like the Japanese Goku and then the American Goku, right? I don't know how many. Like I don't know, Nella, if you know too much about.
Yeah, I know
Japanese
they're two
Goku.
completely different characters.
Right. Yeah.
So, but we're going with the American Goku, right? That's what we're talking about. Like the Americanized Dragon Ball Z, right?
Either way,
yeah.
Same with Goku. Goku made it clear in the beginning his goal was to get strong and fight strong people.
That's
all
it.
Goku wanted to do, and he'll help his friends along the way. I'm not really concerned about Goku. Like I said, I'm gonna go back to Vegeta.
Everybody else in Dragon Ball Z has character development. Like Crillon got married, had a baby.
So did everybody in Naruto.
10 years later.
Of course they were kids, bro.
But you said you were like, technically the Hokage thing didn't happen until after so technically they didn't have kids till after the series.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, that's also right. But I'm just saying you have to look at it. Everybody in DBZ, when their time skip came, they were grown. Naruto's time skip, they weren't really grown, but yeah.
Let me relate some moments. Like when, spoiler alert for y'all that haven't watched Naruto Shippuden coming up right here. I'm gonna give y'all a few seconds to mute yourselves and mute
out
screen,
anything.
The spoiler alert coming up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. When Asuma died, for Shikamaru, that was a huge point for me in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Because that really did lend to his development. Really lent to his development. I was like, all right, cool. This is the type of development I want to see. Strategic Insomniac, what's going on? How you doing? So when that happened, I was like, okay, this is a big point of development. But the moment, I'd say its equivalent moment in DBZ was when Frieza killed Vegeta and he sat there and cried.
Man, Trey, you are giving Nar so much ammunition.
Thank you.
Strategic Insomniac, thank you for coming through.
Because you had this picture in your head of who Vegeta was already. And when he sat there and cried as he spilled his guts to Goku about like how his life went, why he is the way he is, for me, Vegeta became more human.
Yes, facts.
So I was like,
okay, hold on. I'm gonna give you that. So now we'll match for each individual moment you can give me from DBZ. I'll match it with something from Naruto. All right. So taking back into perspective, you're saying when Vegeta cried about him, this is Kakarot. He made me who I am. The tier. I understand that. So are we not gonna just disregard the whole Kohaku and Zabuza thing? Like their whole relationship in its entirety, like I didn't even really know them that well, and I felt bad for it. I really felt bad. And now I will give you when Asuma died. Yes, that was a very pivotal turning point for Shikamaru, but you have to also not forget Choji. I will give the fact that Choji had some development off of that also. Ino, not as much, because the only two females he really focused on were just Sakura and Hinata. And more so Hinata than even Sakura, and then Sakura sometimes more than Hinata. But as far as the other teams, Choji he grew from Asuma's death. Shikamaru grew from Asuma's death.
Choji's turning point was the whole butterfly thing.
Well, no, more so that, but you can't take the fact that was his teacher also, because when you look back at those episodes, Choji was just as torn, and lost and wandering in his ways, more so than not as much as Shikamaru, because the burden that Shikamaru took on from wanting to be Asuma's child's new sensei, and as well as him being the leader of their team, as he is the strategic planning one. So it's a lot more on him because he was really closer to Asuma way more than the rest of them
was
were.
upset he wasn't getting no more free barbecue, yo.
Man, come on. Don't play my boy. See, I rocks with the Akamichi heavy. Don't play my boy like that, man. Come on.
But what I'm saying is his biggest plot development his biggest character development moment for me, and it was even symbolic with the butterfly wings. He was coming out of his cocoon. That's when he became his own ninja.
Yeah, but that's not the only point a character can grow. Just because you got one, they have several. Just like we as people, we have several moments that are defining in life. These characters have them also in the show.
You're right, but I ain't even gotten to Vegeta's biggest moment yet.
Well, go ahead. I was just giving you, in comparison, the Kohaku and Zabuza thing. Their relationship was also. Remember, how many times have you seen? Just saying, how many times have you seen Naruto reflect back on that Zabuza and Kohaku incident? That was a pivotal point at some, just for him a lot of times. Sasuke not as much, but it meant something heavily to Naruto in shaping his ninja way. I'm just saying. I'm gonna let you throw the next one.
To fill some time blocks.
True. I ain't gonna let you, but go ahead. I ain't gonna let you stop. Go ahead. Gotta kiss my wife goodbye. She's going to work.
If I go into the whole Haku Zabuza thing, their story, you want to protect someone that's precious to you. Haku gave his life, I almost said her life. Haku gave his life to Zabuza. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't really care because they completely eclipsed it with Naruto's Nine Tails transformation. That's all I was concerned about after that. That's it. I was like, okay, what is this? This is what I want to see more of.
That's true.
Zabuza was a thug that found somebody in the snow and decided to carry him with him. I didn't know them well enough at that point to get attached enough to be like, oh, okay, well, this is huge right here. I'd known them for maybe 5 or 6 episodes. That was it. And with Vegeta, not only did he have that shining moment when Frieza killed him, and I like that strategic Insomniac said Vegeta cried because he was dying. That's funny.
He was dying though.
But when Vegeta went Majin Vegeta, okay, it's like, oh, he's evil again. Okay, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still, I still wasn't that. I wasn't that pumped. I was like, okay, whatever. So 2 moments. One, when Babidi, is it Babidi? Yeah, it's Babidi. Bibidi is the father.
Yeah, Bibidi made Babidi. Babidi made
Buu. So when Babidi tried to take over his mind and Vegeta just kind of cast him out, that was crazy to me because I don't think any other character in the series could have done that besides Vegeta. That was something that was unique to him. That whole pride thing, Saiyan pride. That's what helped him cast the possessor out and get his own body. But when he sacrificed himself to try to kill Majin Buu,
that was deep. I forgot about that part too.
It was Piccolo explained it like as the series was going on. He's like, Vegeta's doing something he's never done before. He's controlling his own destiny, and they said they believe this is the first time Vegeta's going to fight other than someone besides himself.
True. I will definitely give you that.
He had never hugged his son before. Hugged his son before it was over. Got Goten and Trunks out of harm's way. Finally admitted that he was doing this for Kakarot. And after all the stuff Vegeta has had to deal with, because at this point you know a lot more about Vegeta. You know what he had to deal with before he came to planet Earth. You know what he had to deal with Frieza. You know what he was taught to believe about what was his birthright and watch somebody else take it from him at every turn. But then he has this moment, and that's what I'm saying.
You talking about the whole his birthright being the strongest? That's what you mean? That's his birthright? But
Vegeta was taught to
that was the one thing I always hated about his character. That was his ego, his pride. Exactly like you said, his pride was something he cast aside at that one moment, and his strong will and pride, or exactly you said, helped him come over the whole mind control. But there was also somebody else who overcame the mind control. He didn't really play too much into the show, but we can't forget about Sandland's own Deborah.
Who?
Deborah. Devil King Deborah.
Oh, Deborah.
Yeah, he was never really under. He was never under control.
Deborah caught that L.
True, but I'm just saying he was also never under the control. He just used it as a power up. And Sandland, for those of you who don't know, is another illustration by Toriyama. That's what DeBoer comes from.
He liked working for Babidi. That was all that was. He enjoyed working for Babidi. It seemed like their goals aligned, so he didn't mind working for Babidi.
Yep.
But going back to Vegeta, that moment was such a huge moment for Vegeta. It was 100% unexpected. Like, and he was prepared. He was fully prepared to die. Like, he even said, "Will I meet Kakarot in the other world?" And Piccolo told him no. He was like, "Nah, man, you kind of wild, so you going the other way."
you heading to the home for infinite losers.
Yeah. He was like, "Nah, you ain't gonna meet Goku, fam." So, and he was cool with that. That's what I'm gonna get into. Strategic Insomniac. That's my very next point.
But see, that's what I was gonna jump into Jiraiya's death. Now the heaviness that you're weighing on Vegeta's to Jiraiya's. Actually, hold on. We've discussed enough. Sorry, Mars. Throw your 2 cents out there because you ain't said nothing yet. You here, but we need to let the people hear the Almighty King Troll say his piece.
I'm just sitting here soaking in everything Nella's saying.
Because you got somebody who can speak what you can't say.
No, it's not even that. Because y'all was just getting me so riled up the other day about the whole conversation, saying that Naruto has better development and story. No. Like going back to what Nella was saying about the development between Vegeta and there's still like
but
that's
strategic
just one character.
You're right.
There's Vegeta, there's still Piccolo, there's Goku, there's Chi-Chi, there's Gohan. All of them have very good character development. Well, not Goku. I won't say Goku.
What do you mean? How did Sorry. How has Chi-Chi ever had good character development, guy?
Well, because she let Gohan do what he wanted to do. I mean, I just said Chi-Chi because I was just jamming Oma.
The females, neither show had ever gave the females any just due. We'll definitely give it that. They've never given the females any just due.
had a pretty good, decent character development.
So Kale Khalifa didn't have.
She was with Yamcha.
See, Strategic Insomniac is exact. Gohan got the rug pulled right under him as far as his development.
Yes, for sure. Gohan got completely fucked over with development. It was awful. Gohan has always been my favorite character, so I'm very passionate about that. That was gonna be my last point. So I didn't get too hyped up while I was talking about this up today. But Jiraiya's death, like you said, Jiraiya and Asuma's deaths were very sad. They were. And that's why I compared Asuma's death to Vegeta crying, because that moment was big for me as an adult and as a child. Asuma's death hurt me, and Jiraiya's hurt me even more. Mm-hmm. But Krillon's death in Dragon Ball Z by Frieza's hand hurt me more, because I knew at that point, Krillon couldn't be wished back.
Died too many times.
I knew Crillon couldn't be wished back. So
I already knew there was a loophole, and this is like not me as a kid who reads. I already knew there was a loophole to that because they only spoke about regular old Dragon Balls on Earth. They ain't had nothing about the Namekian Dragon Balls. I'm like, there might be a chance. That's why I wasn't as heartbroken by it. I was still sad, and it triggered one of the best transformation power-ups in my whole life. But I just wasn't as sad as watching Jiraiya also fight one of his beloved students who took his life to also save the next life of his other student to try and it was just a whole myriad of 3 trifectas, the master and the meaning to both of his students. On one end, one student took it a completely different way, and he's still trying to teach Naruto one other whole lesson. And they both intertwined and made one really sad moment. Because I was under the impression that Jiraiya, I'm like, he can't be dying here. This is not going to happen. I'm like, Pain, you can do anything and everything, but you just can't take my pervy sage. You can't do that. And he took my pervy sage. I've only cried at anime a couple times in my life, in like a one being. When 16 stepped on Cell stepped on 16's head and triggered Gohan to transform, that his whole spiel gave me goosebumps, and I shed a thug tear. I had one solo tear roll down my cheek. it hit my fist. And the second being when Jiraiya passed. Because just... Oh, yeah. And then when Ace sacrificed himself for Luffy. That was the other time I cried.
We're not talking about...
Oh, One Piece can get thrown in this too.
Are you really about to tell me though that you didn't expect Jiraiya to die?
No, I didn't. Cause I mean, at that point in time, we knew Pain was strong, but I'm like,
you could tell by
Jiraiya got to get out. I couldn't see the death flags at the time. I could not see the death flags at the time, and this is before I was even reading, so I didn't have the prior knowledge I have now to most things that come up.
Like I was hurt. I cried when Jiraiya died. I cried when 16 died. But for Crillon, the reason why this was such a huge moment is because even though people say Goku didn't get much character development, this was one of Goku's biggest developments. When Crillon died, not just the transformation, it was that Goku had resolved himself to kill Frieza. And Goku has never done that at this point.
And he still didn't kill him.
Oh, everybody thought Frieza was dead. Frieza was supposed to be dead. Oh my
god,
Frieza was supposed to be dead. But Goku had what I'm saying is Goku had resolved himself to kill Frieza. He was always happy-go-lucky, nice, just looking for the next opponent. But when Frieza killed his best friend, all of that went out the window. All of it. And he was ready to kill Frieza. Awesome. He had made up his mind. He yelled at his son, snapped on poor Gohan. For once sounded like a real father. Was like, it's the last time I'm finna tell you. Go!
Do it now, Gohan!
That was a huge moment.
Okay.
And with Gaara's death and Shippuden, Gaara's death was almost super sad to me until they just brought him back to life.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I knew for some point that they weren't gonna let Gaara die. I knew he wasn't gonna die.
You know, everybody's not gonna. Come on, man.
But to that extent, as far as we're gonna go on a death like scenario. All right, Naruto versus Pain. When he outright hit the biggest almighty push, had the whole village just in tatters. Hinata's going up to fight for the person she cares about. Pushes her over the dang near. We're under the assumption that Hinata's done lost her life because every time Pain does anything, it's done. So seeing Naruto rip the seal off his stomach and just say fuck it, let everything let everything just go, didn't give you any kind of like that right there. He resolved himself also to just say I can't do this no more. I'm just gonna let what be and let this monster loose because he had nothing else to live for. That was different
because Naruto ripped that seal off because he was weak.
Nah, that wasn't weakness. He just let go. He just let go
because he was weak.
He just let go.
He could cause if he did that.
He just let go.
His pops even told him he was weak for ripping that seal off.
Hey, you can't. His pops can't say shit. He a bad dad just like Goku.
Naruto ripped that seal off because he was weak. I'm not saying it was a bad development moment, but you can't compare that to a Super Saiyan transformation. They are completely different. Naruto ripped that seal off because he was weak and needed more power to fight. Goku found that power on his own.
Goku.
Even when he explains how to go Super Saiyan, he said the power comes in response to a need, not a desire.
No, they debunked that. You can't say that no more. It's all about that tingly feeling in your back with them S cells.
Well, if we're getting into canon, okay, no.
That is canon though, Mars.
Mars, it's cool. It's cool. So they don't talk about that at all in the Dragon Ball Super manga. They talk about the tingly back in the anime, which is not written by Akira Toriyama.
But the S cells, though, it's all in response to the amount of Saiyan cells that allow this transformation. It's nothing. It's not in a response to a need. It's just the rapid division of his cells caused the transformation. It's in particular to the S cell. That's all that causes that transformation. Yes, it's kind of triggered.
Transformations happen at a different age. If you want to get down to a molecular level.
I mean, I'm gonna give it the same. I'm gonna give it the same run, just like when the Uchiha achieved the freaking Sharingan. It's all in response to some similar situation that activates a certain gland within the body.
But that's the same with the Uchiha Sharingan. It happens when they're under an extreme amount of stress, right?
Or experience emotional trauma, yeah.
So you could consider it like a fight or flight type of thing. But if that was the case, the difference is Naruto could have ripped that seal off anytime he wanted to when he got inside his own little prison. He could have ripped that off anytime he wanted to. Super Saiyan is something that had to be worked towards, and it's something that they had to achieve. It's not something they could just rip off of a cage and then boom, I have more power. That's why I'm saying Naruto is weak for ripping that seal off. Just like I think Sasuke is super weak
for the curse mark.
Everything with Sasuke upsets me.
I've always thought Sasuke was just weak because of that curse mark thing, man. Like that, he was already strong, but he didn't need the curse mark.
That's I understand Naruto was in an immense amount of pain watching Hinata get stabbed right in front of him. Like, I felt that pain.
He watched the entire thing that he cared about get destroyed from, and you have to remember, this man also killed his master, destroyed his home, and potentially killed, at the time, one of the women who he was just starting to actively see as being someone he could, want to protect and care about. Not just on the scale of this is the village, I have to protect the village, but this is somebody I truly care for, and I'm willing to risk this biscuit to see them be great. So yeah, I mean, weak, yes or no, but in the comingness of after that, the way he learned how to control that was greatness. That was definitely greatness. But I still just can't see as many of these pivotal points. I see the points you talk about, but Naruto just has so many, and I'm not talking about filler though.
You've explained has been about Naruto.
No, but hold on. Okay. Let me give you also some other people then. If it ain't just Naruto, we'll give you, who can I run out of the list that has some good stuff that happens to them? Okay, Hinata. We'll take it to the lady. We'll take it to the lady of the show. Hinata. Hinata started off as the very quiet, skittish, in the corner pocket type girl who only watched the guy she admired from afar. You slowly go from seeing her become that person because of his own outer extrovert energy start to change her and the people around him actually, because that kid's unwillingness to settle for, even though they call him everything, he knows he has lack thereof, the ability to be a good ninja, can't properly do anything, unbeknownst to him being a Jinchuriki, and that's why most people dislike or loathe him in the village. His attitude, his way of never giving up, even though that's still like the whole fairy tale thing too. My magic is never giving up, or my friends and stuff like that. It helped. Yeah, it helped everybody else see that they could be great also. Not to the level that I can be Naruto or I can be like Naruto, but it also drove everybody home to being better in their own way. Hinata became
same shit.
Yes, but his whole if you look Trey, but if you look at everybody in Naruto compared to DBZ, and if we put Super into it, Super is just now when they gave some people a little bit more of a push in their development. Now as far as DBZ went, all of the Z fighters minus Tien, I will put Tien up there as being the fourth strongest person. Well, maybe fifth, because it's always gonna be Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Tien. I mean, even just in their development, because Tien is the only person you've seen thereafter at any point in the show who's still training and they still care to give him some kind of story. Krillin became a soft ass cop. 18, she became a mom. Yeah, that's fine and dandy. Chi-Chi's gonna be Chi-Chi. Bulma's always gonna be Bulma. Fucking Mr. Satan's Mr. Satan. Vidal's Vidal. Nobody else got any type of real push to their character. And this is even when Trunks is a baby before Goten comes out of the vagina. Like it was only about the 5. And if you exclude the 5, it's only really about the 2. Goku and Vegeta. Piccolo don't do shit. Piccolo's the good dad, granddaddy. He's training, doing his thing, but nobody else really in that show got a push other than the 2 people. The one main protagonist and antagonist you see become buddy and always push each other to be great. Naruto had a whole myriad of multiple people to some extent, other than just 2 people who still had growth from the start to the end.
No.
Dragon Ball Z went from just being about Goku to being Goku and Vegeta.
You're only pulling from Dragon Ball Z, right?
I'm talking about Super also.
I'm talking about Dragon Ball.
And we can't put Vegeta in Dragon Ball. He wasn't there yet.
Yeah,
No,
but
we're
there's
not
still
putting
all
Vegeta in there.
Goku,
But through Dragon Ball,
Tien,
Yamcha,
Crillon,
Tien,
Yamcha,
Krillin, even Master Roshi changed because of Goku.
Roshi's
Goku had an
okay.
influence on
We
everybody
can't
he
throw
met.
Roshi. Roshi's immortal. We have to remember that. Y'all got to remember Roshi's
Okay,
immortal. Ain't much
well,
changing to Roshi.
let's talk about the Elder Kai's description of Goku.
Yeah.
The fact that he even said somehow Goku makes friends with whoever he fights.
Naruto also.
So if you want to go into it like that, I will crush all of this with the fact that Goku got Frieza to fight with him.
Mm.
The biggest villain in Dragon Ball history to fight next to him.
The only true villain to be.
That's circumstantial just because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Do you remember the exchange Goku and Frieza had when they were holding up the barrier against Jiren? When Frieza looked Goku in the eye and was like, "Do you remember the promise you made to me?" That wasn't just an enemy of my enemy is my friend moment.
I'm saying Frieza's whole premise of joining was because yes, this also affects me. But you also have to remember, if it had been any other way and Universe 7 didn't have that plot armor to it, Frieza would have jumped ship and easily been like, cool, if there was no repercussions to him switching sides or being fugazi as hell, Frieza would have betrayed them. I just want you to remember that. If it wasn't for the armor or the writing plot that gave Universe 7 the win, you know that Frieza would have still changed sides.
But I'm telling you what happened, not what could have happened. I'm telling you what happened. Because I could pull that with Naruto all day. Well, what could have happened? And like Strategic Insomnia said, Sasuke changed so much. No, he didn't. Sasuke was the same character through the entire show that flipped sides. He was like, okay, I'm going to destroy the village. And he was like, oh, well, all right, we're going to do this instead. Well, no, we're going to destroy the village again because they hurt my feelings by hurting my brother. And he was like, I can't really beat Naruto. We kind of fought to a draw. So as long as we stay on the same strength level, I won't turn against the village and he can keep me in check.
Even in that argument, Sasuke's whole thing wasn't to really destroy anything. It was to break the mold, which was the ninja world, the way that the ninja world did things.
Said? The same thing Obito did. We're doing evil for the greater good.
Yeah,
I told you that is the whole premise of Naruto. We're doing bad so that we can do good later. And I think that's weak. Because Naruto debunks this in the show. Naruto proves that you can do good by doing good. He proves that with Nagato.
But not everybody.
What they're telling me is that all these other people are wrong. And I haven't even gotten into Future Trunks' development yet.
Well, hold on, no. Future Trunks, where would Future Trunks even fit in this? Because we have to remember, the two Future Trunkses we've ever seen, even though they say they're the same Trunks, they are not the same Trunks.
They are.
Well, they definitely don't look the same.
Well, they don't.
But that's because Akira Toriyama always meant for Trunks to have blue hair.
I'm just saying, like, okay, if we took it from that, they have the whole. I'm trying not to throw the game into it, but there are 3 renditions of Trunks that are canon, but don't interloop as being the same Trunks. You still got Kid Trunks, who we don't even know who will grow into what Trunks. You got the actual Future Trunks, and then you got the one Trunks that's out of time, the original Trunks that we saw. That's the out of time Zeno-ass Trunks from the first Dragon Ball.
Well, that Trunks isn't considered canon because he's in Dragon Ball Heroes. The way they treat it in the series is the Trunks that you see in Super is the same Trunks you saw during the Cell games. The Trunks that's out of time is a Dragon Ball Heroes character. So there's only one canon one here. And his development through DBZ, I'm not even going to... Super development, I don't really care. I hate Trunks' art in Super.
Okay, we'll rock with just DBZ's Future Trunks.
His development in DBZ was huge. First of all, he showed up out of nowhere. Nobody knew who this guy was. Then, chopped Frieza into some cold cuts and just blew him up. Easy. Then killed Frieza's pops. Right after that, like, yo, who is this Super Saiyan? find out he's from the future. The reason he got so strong was because he had Gohan as a teacher. Big shout out to Gohan. That was another win for Gohan.
That's a Gohan who didn't exist, but go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, Gohan was dead at this point. But he had the teacher Gohan. He became a Super Saiyan. And then his development through his time with Goku and Vegeta. I think when Trunks developed the most was in the hyperbolic time chamber. He went through a huge change when he spent those 2 years or 1 year or whatever it was with Vegeta in there.
Yeah,
Trunks got there and he was trained by Gohan, so he was still he was merciless when it came down to it. That was a huge difference between him and Goku that I liked. I thought that was kind of fresh.
He was more like Vegeta in a sense, more like his father.
And but when he went into the hyperbolic time chamber, when he actually spent time with Vegeta, is when he actually started standing up to him. It's when he decided that it was time for him to be even more ruthless than he was. He saw how strong his dad was. He talked about how he realized how mentally strong his dad was and how his determination inspired him. And Trunks got strong. He was still a little green. He was young. That's why he got all big and bulky and stuff, put the paws on him. But he had a good turning point in the hyperbolic time chamber. And then even during that, when he went back to the future, he was a completely different person, because when you see him when he comes to Earth the first time, well, not to Earth, but when he travels back in time the first time, he's merciless against people he's stronger than, but he is frightened of these androids. Yeah. Like, he wouldn't shut up about them. Every other episode, he's like, no, you can't allow this, you can't allow that, the androids will kill us all, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. But when he went back to the future, after he had trained in a hyperbolic time chamber, after he had been through the Cell games, after he had died at one point.
Cell did off his ass, man.
I mean, look.
What do you mean I sound like I'm arguing a losing side?
I'm just letting you go with Trunks. Trunks, okay. Who else in Naruto has had good development? Now, when you speak on future Trunks, I'm still gonna speak into the fact of Sasuke. That same frightenness that you said Trunks had, that same willingness to stand up, even though Sasuke went to the side he went to, Sasuke still had his own form of growth and development, which made Sasuke more likable, in my opinion, more so than Naruto a lot of times, because like Naruto and Goku, a lot of people know they got the plot armor. You know something is good gonna come about. You know when something will break the mold and see them either ascend or become even more greater than they are. Sasuke went from being the kid. He said the whole podcast. Hey, I just saw the whole podcast is canceled because of this Naruto character development slander. I'm not, bruh. KDJ, I'm back in Naruto. I need you in here, man. I need somebody, because it's just me. It's just me. But Sasuke.
Don't even watch Dragon Ball Z.
Well, he watches Naruto. I need somebody on my Naruto tail back. I need somebody here for the Naruto. Dejan, let him know. I need you in here, bro.
Yo. This man Mars said, I don't even watch anime. Boy, you
No, I said you don't watch.
But no, man. So peak game though. First
let him know.
Gaara had amazing character development.
Let him know.
Wanted to destroy the whole village. And now he's out here training, took in a whole kid. Like my man Tatsu said over there, we've been slandering the whole podcast this whole time.
Oh, damn, y'all both trash for that, but all right.
But, yeah, man, he took in a whole kid, started teaching him like a troubled kid who was like him.
Troubled youth.
He had all that power.
Let him know.
And trying to teach him like how to control it and just be like a decent human being with all that power. You know what I'm saying? Then we got the whole Jiraiya arc. Naruto's character development was excellent throughout that.
Slaying. We already debunked these, man.
At first, he already debunked it, bro. Jiraiya took him in, taught him new jutsu, taught him how to truly control his power for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Gave him a whole new transformation. You know what I mean? Like Sage mode.
KDJ, speak on Sasuke. Let him know.
my man Sasuke, bro.
Uchiha
he
Gucci
already
gang.
had mad power, right? You know what I'm saying? He was just out here stunting on everybody. I know how to use jutsu. This ain't nothing to me. And then, you know what I'm saying, the whole Itachi situation, trying to find his brother, kill his brother. Itachi tells him what happened and all that good stuff. And bruh, then he rebels against the, you know what I'm saying, the Leaf Village.
That was kind of a whole move.
Oh my god, man. And then he comes back and becomes like a wandering ninja protecting the Leaf Village like his brother was technically. Bro. How is there no character development?
I'm saying.
How?
Because the same way, and like, now let me touch back on what Trey was saying as far as Trunks and his whole argument and stuff. So Trunks, you said Trunks went from being that frightful, skittish kid from the future to becoming the more tough and embroidered, you know, sturdy guy we know the future Trunks is now. Sasuke went through that same change. Sasuke, as tough an exterior as he thought he had, when it came to seeing Itachi or those who could put his life in danger, oh yeah, he was chicken shit. Because every time he ever really tried to run up on Itachi, even though it took him a little second to get the nuts to make a move, Itachi was always going to be a couple steps ahead because that man Sharingan and his ninja skill were way above where Sasuke was at. And even to the point that he was always leading Sasuke up to learn the truth. And let Sasuke decide how he wanted to do things because as his big brother, he was always going to love him. But Sasuke still went from being, oh yeah, I'm betraying the Leaf, F y'all, cutting y'all ties. I still want to get stronger, but you see all the darkness that man had to walk through. Naruto had his own darkness, but Sasuke's darkness was some shit that was way deeper than rap. I mean, it was just, I didn't like seeing it most of the time. I'm like, my man is really going through the sludge to learn to be a better him or to at least exact his vengeance. Yes, his feelings were hurt. He wanted to destroy the village because they corrupted his brother, but it's deeper than that. It's a whole myriad of things that made that possible. His brother took on that responsibility. He didn't have to.
Sasuke was weak. And I'm not talking about in terms of power. Sasuke had no mental and emotional fortitude. He was weak.
And that's what but they were kids. That's what I'm saying. They were kids though. But now in that same aspect with Vegeta, everything that Vegeta did, now we don't know much about unless you've read the actual the manga where like you see the young Raditz, young Nappa and kid Vegeta, they were still kids. Now you can't put the aspect of a grown ass alien to a child in perspective. Like, yeah, kid's gonna be weak. I mean, okay, Gar was a different story because my man was psychotic and sleep deprived. But he was psychotic and sleep deprived. But for the most part, yeah, they were kids who really had no real justification or understanding of the actions that they did. They just knew this is what I have to do. This is the path I chose. Vegeta chose his path long ago. Now with Goku, we saw Goku be a whimsical kid with wide-eyed wonderment. And, you know, like you said, he always wanted to fight. That's Goku's thing. I want to fight. I want to get stronger.
Hasn't changed.
And that's...
So KDJ, we talked about this. We said Goku is no factor in this equation.
No, I'm just bringing back to that. I'm just jumping back there.
I'm just here to slander DBZ, first off.
You don't even watch the show.
Yes, I do, bro. Second off, okay, so let's go to Trunks, right? Trunks he's literally the same person that he was at the start of Dragon Ball Z when he was first introduced that he is in Super, bro. Literally,
you even watch Super?
Yes, that's the thing. He literally the same. All he got was that little sword of truth thing. Yeah.
The Z sword.
Yeah, that's whatever. But he's literally the same person, bro. Vegeta is the only one that I could say had actual character development because of who he became in the show. You know what I'm saying? And
Crillon, Yamcha.
I mean, who else? Krillin had character development. Mars.
We're going. I don't know if you ever watched. I don't know if you ever watched
all the way back to Dragon
Ball. We include in Dragon Ball in this too.
He didn't have any character. He just stayed the same.
Did you watch Dragon Ball?
Yes. Okay. Don't try to.
I'm just asking, man.
When it comes to,
but Mars, have you watched anything but Dragon Ball?
Exactly.
I watched all mainstream.
But Krillin literally the same power level, except for in Super, which I don't.
Krillin is the best martial artist from planet Earth. Don't at me. He is the best martial artist from that planet.
I mean,
okay, let's calm down. It was definitely Tien.
It was Roshi, ain't it? Hold on, Roshi's way more.
We talking about like the youth.
Hold up, but actually, take that back because y'all sleeping on Mr. Satan though. I'm just saying.
Tien is the strongest, but Krillin is the best martial artist. I didn't say who had the highest power level. I said he was the best martial artist.
Okay. I still think how does that equate to character development?
So when I get into character development, when Krillin first showed up, Krillin was a little pretentious asshole.
Mm-hmm. Like facts.
That's what he was.
He was the strongest. Yes.
He was a little pretentious, perverted asshole.
Yeah.
And what is he like now?
A goddamn married man with a kid.
No, I didn't ask you how strong he was.
Oh, I apologize. He's married, has a kid. He married an android, a robot, and had a child. Yeah.
He's a cop. You forgot that.
Okay, he has hair. He also had hair at one point, you know.
How much did he change from that throughout the series?
He grew some hair.
And a mustache at one point.
He spent an entire arc protecting Goku's kid.
That's true, too.
He spent an entire arc protecting Goku's kid.
I mean, but subsequently, we always knew Gohan was stronger than Goku. I mean, Krillin at that point. Gohan was just like Trunks at the time. He was just frightened that he was a kid. So, I mean, of course he doesn't know, but we all know, even from seeing Gohan do the little weird, when Goku picked that man up and palmed him like a damn football and threw him and he blew that mountain away, we always knew Gohan was strong. He just didn't know how to tap into that. So, I mean, yes, he protected a child, which quote unquote still is stronger than him. I'm just saying, Gohan's always been stronger than Krillin.
The Saiyan saga, or the Namekian saga, and like up to that point, there was good character development. Story was good, all that good stuff. Once it got past that, then stuff was just kind of wonky. You know what I'm saying? Because Gohan was the strongest. Now he's not the strongest. Now he's Super Saiyan, Mr. Saiyan Man or whatever.
Oh
and
God! Please don't speak over Saiyan.
You know what I mean? Oof. But like Naruto was consistent throughout. Like there was character. How was there not, Mars?
Naruto was not consistent at all. That's my biggest complaint.
I need to understand how it wasn't consistent.
After like the first arc in Shippuden, started doing some other shit.
Explain how. I mean, after the first arc in Shippuden, that's when they're going around and rounding up the Jinchuriki. At this point, way more so than the first season of Naruto, is when I felt like everybody who wasn't Team 7, because literally Naruto, the first bit's all about Team 7. It's about the chemistry, the love, the growing pains of Team 7. Shippuden, yes, it's still about Naruto, but more so you start seeing a lot of those characters and you get a lot of their flashbacks and that aren't filler. These are not the fillers. These are actual canon episodes. The flashbacks that are teaching, showing you, like I said, Choji, great growth. A lot of people who I didn't see growth from are like the females, which is only just Ino, and what's his name with the bugs. He kind of didn't get much. Yeah, you didn't see much about Shino and Ino, and sometimes I think Kiba. They're like the only ones who probably didn't get a little just due. But everyone else who had like at some point had a pivotal fight, Neji, Hinata. You still got Naruto. You're still seeing bits of Sasuke. Like, and then you're still seeing Kakashi. You're still seeing Guy. You're getting introduced to Granny. You're getting introduced to Asuma's, you're learning more about Asuma and his whole thing. You're even watching Konohamaru grow some. Like, you're seeing people who have pivotal grounding in this show grow in small bits and pieces. DBZ, like I said, if it wasn't about the 5 strongest, and then when the 5 strongest were no longer the strong, when Gohan went the Great Saiyan Man, by this point, it's only about Goku and Vegeta. That's all it's ever going to be about.
And even like Tez said, man, like in Naruto, as they grow, their scope on the world gets bigger. And that's dope to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it starts off as Team 7, and that's it. And then as they get older and stronger, they start seeing the world, the different villages.
For what it really is.
The Kage, and they start fighting Madara, you know what I'm saying? And he's a threat against the world, not just a village. So
we also have to take into consideration that Naruto does have twice as many more characters than Dragon Ball Z does. Am I right?
But whose fault is that? Is it their fault for adding more characters?
My whole point is Dragon Ball didn't have to do flashbacks to develop characters. I feel like that's a waste of time.
That's because Dragon Ball
it's an afterthought. It's an afterthought. Like, oh, maybe we should flesh these characters out. How can we do that? Oh, let's give them some flashbacks and give you a quick glimpse of their past. that really doesn't give you a real idea of who they are.
But that's
It's just
good
a quick
building,
look.
though. I mean, to me, that's good building. Like, I'm gonna use a whole nother show that's not in the realm of this category because we're still on DBZ and Naruto. But Black Clover, I read and I watch. I know, but the stuff that I see fills in spaces in the dang book that I'm always having questions about. That right there is good world building, you know, backstory. This is stuff that makes somebody, it makes them more realistic and down home, and like I can actually put my piece of a puzzle to somebody else and say this fits, or I have some type of small thin line connection with this, or I can at least empathize with the way this character is. I empathize with Crillon a lot when he first came in, because Crillon was, yeah, of course, weak. Goku, I like Goku because Goku was Goku, but Naruto taught me lessons, made me feel. I'm talking about, I got tears. Every person had a little bit of something that, you know, marinated with a person or a part of my life or anything. You got shy people overcoming their shyness. You got fat people getting through the point of, I'm no longer fat. I can accept myself for who I am. Like we discussed that last time with about what we liked on the last episode when I was talking about Choji's daughter. She went through a subsequent same thing as like Choji, accepting herself for who she is and being great and learning that this is who I have to be. I shouldn't have to change. DBZ didn't really teach you many things, and yes, to an interplanetary scale that's not realistic to today. I can't say I look at everything on an interplanetary light, but Naruto, like KDJ said, you can look at it from a worldly perspective because you also bring into the different villages, you know, mirroring different races, how people do different things and stuff like that. So it was more realistic in the sense that I can actually see this development and growth for what it was. Dragon Ball Z, like I said, if it ain't Goku and Vegeta, we ain't fucking with you.
I'm about to get into that because he's been talking for a minute. So you said like in Naruto, how old were you the last time you watched Dragon Ball through Dragon Ball Z?
Dragon Ball through Dragon Ball Z, I was roughly 19.
And when was the last time you watched Naruto through Naruto Shippuden?
I'm still watching, or just went all the way back and rewatched.
Well, let me rephrase the question. When you first saw Dragon Ball Z, how old were you?
Dragon Ball Z, I was like 7. Dragon Ball, I was 4.
Okay. How old were you when you first watched Naruto?
13.
So would you say, is it safe to say that when you watched Naruto, you were at more of an age to relate to those characters more?
True, but I also did go back and rewatch Dragon Ball Z at that age too.
But it wasn't your first time watching it.
No.
Like first impressions are real huge when it comes to anime, whether you're reading or manga, whether you're reading or watching.
Oh yeah, you actually,
is,
that's something you preach a lot. First impressions are a hell of a thing.
So Goku, like Tyma said, you got to go back and listen to some of Goku's philosophy. Goku is the same person throughout the whole show, but there are plenty of lessons to be learned from Dragon Ball. As you say, you learn plenty from Naruto, you don't really learn anything from Dragon Ball. There's plenty of stuff to be learned from Dragon Ball. If we go into Vegeta never had a teacher. Never. Goku had a teacher. Gohan had a teacher. Crillon had a teacher, Yamcha had a teacher, Tien had a teacher. Vegeta never had someone to train him until he met Whis. So, what I learned from Vegeta was that if you stay determined enough, and that if you believe in yourself, like Naruto does, that you can hang with the best of them, whether you have different opportunities than them or not.
Mm-hmm.
And back to what you were saying when you said that, of course, they're kids, so they're going to be weak. Naruto proved that he was more mentally and emotionally strong than all the other kids as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So
You have to think of his circumstance, though. That like it's situations like that. It's just saying. I'm just saying that's circumstantial because he grew up the way he did. So yeah.
Sasuke had a screwed up upbringing too.
Exactly.
Like when they were fighting each other, and Sasuke looked at Naruto and he was like, "You never had parents, so you don't know what it's like to lose them." When it boils down to it, and what Naruto was trying to get Sasuke to understand is that I've been just as lonely as you have.
That's what I'm saying. Loneliness is loneliness, no matter how it comes about.
But Naruto was also telling him, right now you sound like a bitch. That's what Naruto was telling him.
Facts. You ain't lying.
Sasuke weak.
You ain't lying.
So, I lost my train of thought with that laugh reel. Hold on.
I mean, because you that was a fact though.
No, but yeah, and that's why I called Sasuke weak. But also, here's my atomic bomb. Who here has watched the entire like Harry Potter series or read the books?
I have.
Okay, Naruto is Harry Potter. It's the same story.
I mean, yes.
It's the same story. No, it's the same story. Voldemort is Orochimaru.
Yeah.
It's the same. They even have a almost line for line comparison. When Ron's parents, he doesn't know where his parents are, and him and Harry get into an argument about it. And Ron tells Harry, "You don't have parents. You don't know how this feels."
Yo, I just saw that in the chat. Yo. Oh man, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Best development was when Goku and
I said they got their license.
That's what got me, yo.
Hey, that's when Piccolo was a savage, though. He's like, Piccolo, where'd you get those clothes?
That's when Sauce God Piccolo stepped out on the scene.
That was still funny, man.
But if you go into Goku's speeches throughout the series, like Goku, I say some of Goku's development was silent. Like when I said he resolved himself to kill Frieza. Also, when Goku learned a little more about his Saiyan heritage, he really didn't care at first. He was like, whatever, I'm from Earth. But when he saw Vegeta cry like that, he told him, lend me some of your Saiyan pride. And that is when he made up his mind that as the last Saiyan, he had to be Frieza. As a Saiyan, it had nothing to do with him being from Earth. It had nothing to do with him protecting somebody. Yeah. It had to do with him being a Saiyan and Frieza being Frieza. And that was one of the few moments where Goku wasn't like, oh, I'm just fighting him because he's strong. I'm fighting him because he did my people wrong. So there were small development points for Goku throughout the whole series.
Gotcha.
But ultimately, he did wind up being the same person.
You said throughout the whole series. So you're not really swaying us, because me and Tez definitely agreed that up until after the Namekian saga, there was great character development.
Mm-hmm. I will give you that.
When it wasn't so great. So we agree with you on the part, you know what I'm saying, the Vegeta crying, you know what I'm saying, Goku resolving to kill Frieza when he didn't want to do it, even after he gave him some of his power so that he could go home, and he tried to kill him anyway. You know,
and even the bitch assness of Gohan Super Saiyan into Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, that was all great.
Yep.
Like I said, the Cell Saga, hella pivotal. Nobody grew in that whole thing but Goku, Vegeta. Krillin got a little.
Nobody grew but Goku.
So I'm naming the people. I'm just saying Goku grew. Like from my perspective of who had a good growth development through that arc, Goku got a little growth. He was still in Goku's respect. It was him more so being a damn father for the first time. I actually saw Goku with his son. So yeah. Gohan.
So you are including the Android saga in this, right?
Yes.
I don't. So
yep. I'm gonna throw those in there too.
I don't say there's good character development there. I say there's good story, because there's really no character development. People just
Piccolo got a lot of character development. Both of those. When he fused with Kami.
That's what I'm saying. I just say people are getting stronger, like because he just got stronger from that. I mean, he got wiser too. Like,
but that's also when you find out. Like, if we're talking about flashbacks, that's when you find out why they separated, why they didn't want to combine again. Mm-hmm. Like how it all came to pass, how they ended up in this situation in the first place.
But is that character development or good storytelling?
Or world building?
That's character development. Because that's a whole half of Piccolo we don't really know about.
King Piccolo?
But
Yes,
that
we
didn't
do.
And then-
but that didn't do anything for his character. It just showed
His
some backstory.
name even changed.
It just shows some backstory. So that's
I
good
can say that for
story.
every Naruto flashback y'all are talking about.
I'm not saying the flashbacks build character development. It's how they grow throughout the series. There's good
They
storytelling,
only get
and
stronger
then
in
there's good
Naruto.
character
The
development.
only characters that grow, we talked about this. Naruto, Sasuke, Hinata, Shikamaru, a little bit of Choji.
What?
Garo was one episode.
His really was not
bro.
one episode.
It really wasn't.
Because a lot of the whole Jinchuriki arc, as much as they tried to add some of the other Jinchuriki in there, Gar was the most filled of that arc. Like you got to see him go from being, he lightened up after his fight with Naruto, but you get to see how he's learning to interact with his village, the people trusting him still crumbling down his walls and becoming or stepping into his own as a Kazekage. Because even though he was a kid and took on the responsibility, he still wasn't really at his true potential a Kazekage. He was still Gar trying to understand everybody. Because let's face it, Gar in his entirety, his personality, he is very introverted. So he didn't really know how to interact with his people. He just knew it was his duty to protect them. And he didn't really feel how, once at the end when he was revived, he didn't really understand until that point how cared for, how loved, and how sought, he was in his position. So yeah, he had a massive amount of growth during the Jinchuriki arc.
Yes.
Boom. Now I can't count every other
And even
Jinchuriki.
Kakashi.
Yep.
So
Kakashi ain't God.
if we're getting into that, the OVAs in Dragon Ball Z are canon.
Yep.
Not the
They are.
movies, but the OVAs are canon.
Are
So
we? Okay.
no, because KDJ was talking about Trunks, right? Because that's when Trunks had the most development, was in his movie.
Yeah,
But
the
thing
story
is,
of Future
Naruto
Trunks.
doesn't need movies to develop characters.
But they need hella flashbacks.
Is that a movie? Though?
You have to understand too. Also,
Is that an out of series movie?
Combine all the flashbacks.
you have
bro.
to. You have to.
About 200 hours.
You have to understand as well. Dragon Ball Z came first,
Okay.
so like they will learn like, oh wait, we don't need to make a whole feature-length movie. We just put a whole bunch of shit in fillers and flashbacks.
But you actually
they
already
learn
showed anime before Dragon Ball Z.
I'm not saying they weren't, but they're two similar shows, like the same studio. Like,
I see where Mars is coming from because they already said, like, the writers for Naruto and Bleach and One Piece said that they built their series off of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and that makes sense because it was the most
So-
influential shonen at the time.
Yeah.
right.
So they took it and was like, okay, well, how can we make it better? But when you're saying they didn't need a full-length movie, they just needed flashbacks. If you combine all the time from the flashbacks, it's like 18 movies.
But that's like saying Gohan had his biggest character development in BoJack Unchained.
No.
No. BoJack is not canon. BoJack is a movie.
You know what I'm saying?
BoJack is a movie, and History of Trunks is an OVA. They're different.
OVA is canon.
Original video adaptation is just something that they take that's supposed to be in the series, but it's too long for an episode.
Okay. Yeah. No, I
So-
understand. And that's fine. Like, he can have that. Me personally, I still just feel like Trunks was the same person throughout. Even after the backstory. It's not like I understood where he was coming from with his backstory, even without the OVA. You know what I mean? Because androids destroyed the whole future for him, basically. And he comes back trying to save the future by saving the present. You know what I mean? But, I mean, how
You
did
can
that...
see how differently Trunks would have turned out if he didn't go through what he did in Future of Trunks, because you have the example right there with Kid
Okay,
Trunks.
but when he was introduced, how did his character change or grow?
I
Besides,
told you
power-wise?
his character changed
His
when
whole-
he went into the hyperbolic time chamber.
He came out stronger.
His whole
No,
view.
not just stronger. He became more confident. His demeanor changed.
He learned from Vegeta, his dad, who didn't never learn.
But the thing
His
is,
dad was dead, so
yeah,
that's
no, I get that. I get that. But the thing is, I don't see the timidness of Trunks because as soon as Trunks was introduced, He ran up on the strongest villain in Dragon Ball Z at the time and destroyed him.
Not his time.
Nothing. And he was confident with it.
Not his time. Frieza was a myth and a legend.
But still, when he's introduced,
he said a legend.
Confident. He comes in confident. And y'all were saying he was timid at start. And when he went through the hyperbolic time chamber, trained with Vegeta, he came out confident and stuff like that. He was already confident. Somebody,
but just when it came to the androids, he was sure
about the androids.
Yes, I get that. Because
he whined and bitched and moaned about the android for a whole arc.
And then he got stronger and felt more confident about facing them because he was stronger. That's it.
But then even when you see him in Super, he's not that timid with Goku Black. He's still fighting him. He's not just outright running from him. Is he?
Did you make it that far?
He was never really timid. He was scared because he was weak, but he just got stronger. That's literally it. There was no real character development. Like when we talk about Naruto, people get stronger, but there's it's not just the fact that they get stronger is why their character changes. It's because they've experienced something or they've went through something that changes them as a person, not just because they got stronger.
That's what I just said. Trunks seeing everybody around him die is what made him who he is. Because you see Kid Trunks and how just carefree he is. And then when Future Trunks
when did the OVA drop though?
Huh?
When did the OVA drop?
Way back.
Was it before? What I'm saying is, was it before he was introduced as a character?
I don't know. I'd have to look up the dates. We have the technology.
So what I've been saying is, when people are introduced, seeing them grow from there, that's character development. Showing backstory after they've already been introduced to try to make them likable or whatever.
So you're saying,
or if you say that,
that's not real character.
Naruto's character development in half.
Yeah.
But even with that, how many characters? I'm saying, even with that, how many characters are still showing growth, like as people, not just as fighters, not just as ninja, but as people. That's what I'm saying. When I say character development, I mean growing as a person, not just power-wise and becoming more confident in yourself because of your power. I'm talking about growing morally, you know what I'm saying, emotionally, all of that.
Vegeta, Piccolo, and Tien all had that development.
So I can see Vegeta.
And Gohan.
I can see Piccolo. I can kind of see Tien. That's about it. Just because he was strong, and then, you know what I'm saying, over time he realized that he wasn't as strong as everybody else.
Yeah, but Tien's one of those still, like I said earlier, Tien's still one of the more pivotal people that they put out in the front who does get growth and development at times compared to other people. That's true. So that's why I included Tien.
But y'all got 3 people. I understand Naruto has more characters. But the main people in Naruto stay the main people and continue to grow throughout the series.
No, Naruto continues to grow throughout the series.
We done already talked about how many other people had character development and changed as people through
the main don't. Just Naruto.
They had small points of development. But at any point when they normally had this development, Naruto was on screen.
So basically what happened with the character growth with Naruto being a part of it is just his values and his morals influenced other people to grow as people.
And that's how the other people grew in Dragon Ball Z with Goku.
Who grew from Goku's values of fighting everybody I can to get stronger?
Tien did. Crillon did.
Did he get stronger?
Yamcha did.
He get stronger?
I'm not talking about their strength. I'm talking about how they changed as a person. Tien was a villain in Dragon Ball, if you don't remember.
I do. But what I'm saying is just because... So what I'm saying is, like, Naruto, his positivity, his stick-to-itiveness, all that good stuff.
They directly mention the same thing in Dragon Ball with Goku. They directly mention it. Who else has made friends with the God of all things?
At what point does it like stop? You know what I'm saying? Because like Goku's character doesn't influence anybody else now. It stopped after, like I said, it stopped basically after the Namekian saga. Some of the Cell saga. Who is he influencing now? Who is he making better throughout the whole series? Naruto.
I don't know. You asked who he's influencing. I just said, who else has made friends with the god of all? Goku is the only person who have ever done that. And he did influence him with the Tournament of Power.
But did they grow as a character because Goku made
the whole story changed. Every universe there would have been erased if it wasn't for Goku. Goku showed Xenos that there were people in the universe that were worth keeping around. Everybody would have been deleted if it had not been for Goku's character.
So that's them growing as a character because he talked to them and made them not kill people.
He didn't just talk to them and make them not kill people. His attitude and his demeanor caused them to humble themselves and look at the people down below them in a different light. So yes, that is character development. He caused an omnipotent being that can snap his fingers and erase everything around him to look down on these lowly people on these single planets and be like, okay, maybe I'm more like them than I thought.
And was it because of his power level? that's what I'm trying to get at. So all character changes in Dragon Ball Z seem to stem from, okay, I'm weaker than him now. I guess I gotta act different. You know what I'm saying? Like that's literally all Dragon Ball Z.
That God isn't weaker than Goku by any means. He could delete Goku in an instant.
I don't know, man. I just don't see like the true like character.
It's
development.
like what
all I see is just power scale. It's just like
boiling Goku down to just him liking fighting dudes is also way too much of an oversimplification. And he's right, because with Naruto, everything is right in front of you. With Dragon Ball Z, like I said, most people are focused on the fighting and the power levels. But underneath all that, with all the dialogue, there is plot and there is development and character development in the show.
Okay.
And Vegeta alone is going to always be my arguing point, because I think Vegeta had better development than any Naruto character, including Naruto.
So I can understand that, because
I can definitely understand that also.
Literally my favorite character, because of his character development, and because I felt like he was the only one that got like true character development in the series. You know what I mean? But I still make the case that Naruto just has more. I'm not saying there's no character development in Dragon Ball Z. Naruto just has more.
But is it?
And it could stem from there's more people.
But is it better? Is the question. We're not talking about quantity.
I say it
is.
I say it is because there's character development and great storytelling. But you know,
regarding flashbacks,
Dead Hero, what you just said. Now, people that Goku changes because they see his determination to improve, and some of them what to try to improve as well.
And Naruto did that as well, bruh.
No, but that's what I've been saying. But that's what I'm saying. Y'all keep using that. Y'all keep using that as y'all's plot point for Naruto, but Goku did the same thing, and he did it first.
So it comes down to who did it first.
I'm not using Naruto being stronger than everybody.
No, I was saying the fact that people seeing his determination is what changed them.
Determination is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They see Naruto's determination, his unwillingness to bend, and just his fortitude. And they see that and they're like,
I could get behind that. Yes,
I can get behind that. That inspires me to want to become strong. Because that's what most people say.
Yep, and go ahead, y'all. Go ahead. I was gonna say
in Naruto, it's not really like trying to be strong. It's more how can
Hinata said that word for word, fam.
Okay, that's Hinata. I'm saying it's so they can benefit the village, not just so they can be strong. Like, how can I help the village? Because everybody in Naruto isn't strong, but they benefit.
How many of them have actually helped the village? Besides Naruto?
the entire village did.
Besides fighting for the village, how else have they helped the village? How have they grown the village? How have they actually improved the
Konohamaru, teacher. Inspiring the youth.
Inspiring the kids.
Look, from the way I'm seeing it, Konohamaru is a shitty teacher.
Oh, damn.
Where's everybody ending up?
To say that is like saying every teacher, if somebody in their class goes to jail, that's their fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't change people. They gonna be who they are.
How is teaching improving the village?
He inspiring the youth. That's what teachers do.
Yeah, but you just said you can't actually influence them if they're that person already.
Inspiring the youth.
I just said you can't blame a person for how a person turns out if they gave their best effort. That's what I was saying.
Because I mean, if you want to say who improved the earth, I can give Chi-Chi that credit.
Okay, you got it.
Because Chi-Chi birthed somebody who saved the world?
No, not because she birthed someone who saved the world. This has nothing to do with power level.
Mm-hmm.
This has to do with her staying on Gohan's ass to study.
Oh, well, that's being a good mom, yeah.
But no, wait. But Gohan has become an extremely famous scientist that has come up with like groundbreaking research. He goes to all these conferences to explain his research, which is in turn improving the world as a whole. So would you say Chi-Chi is Gohan's teacher? Would you say she's responsible for that?
Gohan is a product of a bunch of things that come from his mother's toughness to him having education and some of his father's happy-go-lucky attitude, but he's still henpecked.
His mom educated him though, right?
Yeah, yeah. But still, to the degree of helping and fixing a world though, if we look at it like, okay, yeah, Naruto's, hell yeah, actually, even when Naruto was a kid, that same mentality, not only did it affect other people, he infected villages with it, places that were small and rural. Like if they happen to be, that one place exactly, in the Hidden Mist, if I'm not mistaken, like amongst the trip to the Zabuza thing, there were plenty of little small villages where they went through and helped, and people talked hella shit about them. No, this is actual canon episode. It's not a filler. This one's not a filler. His mentality helped villages. Like they see how determined he is, inspiring, even though as crazy as it is, little kids to want to be more not henpeckish as the adults, and therefore triggering a domino effect for the adults to finally see that these kids are willing to have this much, determination and strength. Why are we idly sitting by and letting the younger generation or these kids, take this forefront when it should be we, the adults, to have this, this pivotal point to show them this is how we should be. It wasn't just Konoha. He influenced the Hidden Mist. He influenced the village hidden in the clouds, the village hidden in the sand. Like it's so many other places.
Okay, so Gohan did that. Goku did that. Gohan did it in all different places of the world. Goku did it all throughout Dragon Ball. On his journey,
Goku
and came across the whole Red Ribbon Army. Goku went to all types of cities. Even before the Red Ribbon Army, you had, I can't remember his name, King Rabbit or something. This cat that was turning people into carrots.
Yeah, no, I know he's talking about. He hopped up and whipped with the shades on.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. He was
terrorizing this entire town. Goku taught them to stand up for themselves. Gohan did the same thing in this little town where he was going to get his spices.
Consistency.
Goku has influenced entire planets.
What planet?
Naruto done that? Namek.
How did he influence Namek?
So
I thought I could swear it was Piccolo.
I thought it was Piccolo who was that. Like they saw how Piccolo was and made them want to be better.
Piccolo was like the Messiah to them. I'm not gonna lie. But when Goku came and saved they give Goku credit for that. When they're on New Namek, and this is after they've met the Supreme Kai and all of that. When they tell them, they're like, normally we don't interfere with other planets' plight or these types of situations. But thanks to Goku, we've learned to branch out and to be kind to everyone. That's an entire planet.
How did Goku teach them that though?
I'm telling you what they said. This is what's in the show.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to get the facts straight. You know what I'm saying?
Because
was that the writers trying to write in Goku's influence?
They said that because Goku's not from planet Namek. Namek is not Goku's responsibility.
This is true.
But in their eyes, him stopping Frieza was him defending their planet.
But was it in reality?
Piccolo couldn't. Huh?
But was he actually trying to defend the planet in reality? Or was he just trying to kill Frieza?
Well, no, when he fought the Ginyu Force, he told them to leave the planet. Before he was even thinking about killing anybody, he was like, just leave the planet, won't be no problem. So he didn't even get there with the desire to fight initially. He got there trying to resolve the issue and get everybody to leave. for Namek's safety.
Okay.
Questions?
I mean, I still have questions because it's still he was finna leave while the planet was blowing up. Frieza had already pretty much blown up the planet. He basically killed Frieza, but then he was gonna save Frieza, who destroyed the planet, and then just leave. That was his whole goal, to just leave the planet as it was blowing up. So was he saving the planet or trying to defeat Frieza?
So if you're in a room with a nuclear reactor and it's gone, it's about to blow. Nothing you can do about it.
But there are some people who will still try to save it. Are there not?
How can you save a planet when the core has been destroyed?
Because anytime in any movie, any show, in real life, even when stuff is going wrong, like when I'll do this, you know what I'm saying? We're both in the military, we understand. So when the Twin Towers came down, right? There were people still in there trying to save lives. Even though they could have got out and been completely fine, stuff is going crazy, I'm gonna just leave. There's nothing I can do.
Did you forget about Goku speaking to King Kai and transporting everyone from planet Namek to planet Earth so that they didn't have to suffer that explosion?
Wait, repeat the question. My bad, there was something going on in the background.
No, I'm saying Goku had a conversation with Kami and King Kai to get the Earth's Dragon Balls together to wish everyone on planet Namek to planet Earth so that they didn't die in the explosion, while he stayed to fight Frieza. So he did do his part to save lives. And he even told King Kai, when King Kai said, we can come up with another plan, you need to come to Earth too. And Goku said, no, that's just going to bring Frieza to Earth and I'll have to deal with him there. Let me finish him here.
Yeah.
But that's just Goku doing his duty. I mean, like Talma said, another thing people overlook about Goku is his heavy anti-tyranny stance. Like, we know Goku's against any oppressive people, but I mean that just falls into line of, okay,
if
well,
they're strong.
I need to, that's like if you see a weed in your garden, like you need to go ahead and pull it, nip it at the bud, get it out so it don't spread. But
okay, so when you first start the series of Dragon Ball, everybody he meets is pretty selfish, right?
Yeah,
Bulma's hella selfish. Yamcha's selfish.
Yamcha tried to steal from him.
Yeah, like everybody's hella selfish. But by the time Namek gets destroyed and they get back to Earth, everyone's idea is, why don't we wish for them to have a new planet? If it wasn't for Goku, do you really think any of these people would even be in this situation? Or even be thinking about wishing for the Namekians to have a new planet? This was all due to Goku's influence. Every event that happens after everybody meets Goku is due to Goku's influence. Like when he fought Kid Buu, I wish you could come back as a better person.
Facts.
Or is it because of his strength?
But I mean, at any point, did Naruto never not want the best for people?
No, Naruto did. You're right, Tez. Naruto did want the best for everyone. But what I'm saying is, when you say that Goku had no influence on people, that's completely false.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that. I was just saying Naruto's scope is bigger.
the scope in which he influenced people.
Naruto's scope is as big as like 4 or 5 continents. Goku's scope is universal. He's inspired gods.
No, see, okay. Now, when you say universal, this is where I want to trump the trope of universal. The DBC universe, as of Super, just finally got expanded. All we knew of was Namek and Earth. There ain't much else to the universe. The Goku ain't never been to planet Salad or planet Vegeta.
Namek, Earth, Vegeta, Yardrat.
But places he actually influenced only stem from Namek and Earth. Now, to the scale,
influenced the whole planet.
Mars, shut up. Your opinion is muted.
He said that bad opinion is muted. But
ignorant and leave every time.
He ain't been voicing his opinion at all. I gave this man an intro for I don't know why. Almighty troll. But still, Goku's his influence only stems from the people who know him there. Most of these people who he's met, okay, seldom do you see them ever. Like I remember, I can't think of what was the episode he was making the really big Genki Dama to destroy Buu, and like you see the Frankenstein guy from Dragon Ball. I was like, yo, I hadn't seen him since Dragon Ball, so he's still thusly alive. So I mean, it's certain people you still see, but it's not like it's the entire world. Now, I'm not saying the entirety of the world Goku is affected. Yes, we know as of Namek, yeah, he influenced the whole planet. Naruto,
he influenced Earth too with the Red Ribbon armies, just like Dead Hero said.
but the Red Ribbon wasn't that massive of an army, though. They were just in Japan.
On later episodes of
or what's quote unquote Goku's their place in the world, wherever that is in Japan.
What
Goku had to fly over the water multiple times to get to Red Ribbon bases. So I'm not gonna limit it to one continent. There's no way in hell it's.
So this is when I bring into question the consistency, bro. Because like with Naruto, right? He influences one person in Naruto, the beginning. Then in Shippuden, you see the bigger impact of him influencing that because they go back and influence a village. In the Gaara situation, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's that with Goku? Like, there is
no consistency in Naruto because you have 8 million fillers. That's not consistent.
What does the have to do with character development and consistency?
It makes it stale. If I'm watching a series and I have to wait 3 months before I get any more development, I'm gonna stop caring.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Z put out new episodes every single day.
But there was plenty of filler in Dragon Ball Z too. Like
there
when you just sit there and wait.
Episode.
I'm not even filler. Just say drawn out parts, which is basically filler. There are a bunch of drawn out parts, especially as soon as fighting starts. It takes 20 episodes to finish a fight. 20. So that doesn't count as basically filler?
No, not to me.
So that keeps you interested when you have to sit there and wait 20 episodes to see the impact or the result of a fight.
Honestly, if I had to wait a week for every episode, no. It wouldn't keep me interested at all. But like I said, there was a new episode every day.
But it's the same with filler. If there was new episode Naruto every day with filler, then could you stay in it?
With filler episodes?
Yes, because just like the drawn out parts,
so there was a new episode every day, and filler episode arcs last like roughly 60 episodes, 30 to 60 episodes. So that's 1 to 2 months that I'm still waiting before I see any more development.
Trash. I mean, the same could be said for Dragon Ball Z, because fights took 20 to 30 episodes. And 5 episodes of actual fighting. Exactly, Dead Hero. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right, Tez, can I bring Dragon Ball Kai into this?
Yeah.
It's still tropes in as canon, so sure, go ahead.
All right, so Dragon Ball Kai eliminates everything you just complained about.
Because Dragon Ball Kai was basically a reimagining, a better version of Dragon Ball Z.
All the stuff that we complained about that got taken out that we wished.
Naruto made a whole nother series. It just took out the filler. It'd be the same thing.
But they didn't.
Because there's not a new generation of people wanting to see that. Dragon Ball Z could do that.
And this is
more
part
shut
of
up.
This is part of my point. This is part of my point that Dragon Ball Z came out so long ago that was the model they were told to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Naruto, which was much newer, came out at a much later date. Yeah, came out at a much later date. And then when that became like the standard for anime, they decided to release Dragon Ball Z Kai. And if you put those two up against each other, the filler thing is a moot point for DBZ. But with what Tyler said, I don't think this line of argument has much for either side on.
Yeah,
I would agree with it.
It's true. It is kind of just economics. They wanted money.
Yeah. But
he said, "When we get Naruto Kai."
Naruto Kai is easy because we can stream anime now, Dead Hero. We can just skip them.
Big facts. And you
Factuals.
can look up which episodes are filler.
People have websites to tell you what to skip.
What exactly?
So that's like you have a Kai version of almost everything. But watching Goku like run through this Red Ribbon Army, that was not just oppressing Japan. The Red Ribbon Army was oppressing the planet.
How, Sway? I just don't recall them oppressing the planet.
Like I said, Goku went to multiple continents. At one point, he's in the desert fighting the Red Ribbon Army. At another point, he's in some snowy area that looks something like Russia. They're wearing those types of hats, all that stuff, fighting the Red Ribbon Army.
So what
he goes, each general of the Red Ribbon Army had a different area of the world they were responsible for.
Yeah, and Dragon Ball was dope. And there was great character development, great storytelling. But
to see the Uzaru for the first time, you know?
Yeah, it still yearns the fact of like what impact did that have on Dragon Ball Z? And I get what Tayama said, you know what I'm saying? They would have probably taken over the world in Dragon Ball if it wasn't for Goku stepping in. But after a while, that impact of that died off. You know what I'm saying? You don't even see the Red Ribbon Army anymore.
No, due to him traveling the world
popped back up
to save people from the Red Ribbon Army was a direct influence to people giving him their energy to kill Kid Buu.
Okay, at that time though, he pulled from different galaxies and stuff like that too. But every other time Goku does the Spirit Bomb, he did. No. I'm just saying. No one subconsciously ever knew he was taking their energy every other time he does that. Some people willingly give it. Some people who know or can actually understand. I could have swore there was like somebody channeled his voice out so everybody could know that he needed their energy.
It was Hercule. Hercule called on the Earth to give him their energy.
Hercule called on the Earth to get the normal citizens, but when you see the Native American that Goku saved, that wound up being a chief of that Native American village,
just like the Frost guy, the Frankenstein guy from Dragon Ball. You know, they're still in the north.
That's Ader.
I don't know his name.
8. It's Android 8. His name's Ader.
Ader, okay.
But those people were influenced by Goku. And whether you want to say it didn't really make a difference or not, every bit of energy counted in that episode.
But he had a surplus of energy due to Hercule. And without Hercule, he wouldn't have defeated Buu with that Spirit Bomb anyway.
Okay, well, how did they influence Hercule? Who influenced Hercule?
Hercule influenced himself because he wanted to actually be the champion of the world for once.
How did he end up there?
That's literally it.
How did he end up there?
How is that a reach? Because he literally said, "I'm the champion of the world, and like I have to do something." Like that's what he was literally saying.
But how did he end up on that Kai planet?
Because of Buu. Because of his love for Buu.
Okay, so who had effects on changing Buu initially?
Hercule?
Goku was first.
Talking about when he showed him the transformations?
No, not when he showed him his transformation. It was because of Goku that Buu might be killed Babidi. That's not a reach. He killed Babidi, creating all types of freedom for himself. Due to Goku pushing at him that he didn't have to listen to Babidi.
Hercule was the only reason that Buu became good. Literally.
But why do you think
there were plenty of episodes showing him developing?
If Buu had been with Babidi when Hercule met him, what do you think would have happened to Hercule?
He would have died instantly.
He would have died. That's what I'm saying. If you pile it all together and you go back to the beginning, Goku is a direct influence to everything that has happened throughout the series. Throughout the whole series.
So you're saying it wasn't Hercule's fault that Buu became like good Buu?
I'm saying that Goku played a part. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Goku has played a part in all of this stuff.
So Goku influenced Buu to kill Babidi.
Mm.
He did.
But how does that tie into your narrative of everybody being influenced by Goku's forgiveness?
Okay, so Vegeta, once again, when Vegeta was on planet Earth, Krillin could have killed him.
No, I'm saying, how does the
heart.
Buu thing tie into that? Not necessarily Vegeta.
What
Because
Buu thing? You saying Buu becoming good?
Buu killed Babidi. You said he killed Babidi because Goku influenced him.
While
Yeah,
they're
thank
fighting,
you,
Goku
Tayama.
tells,
Like,
Goku
Tayama
tells
say-
Buu, he tells Buu, he's like, I don't know why you listen to this guy. You're a lot stronger than him. He's like, I have no idea why you listen to him. You're a lot stronger than him. You can be free.
I mean, true, but Hercule really had the
And
impact
he,
when it came to influence.
Hercule had a heavier effect on Buu. I'm not saying he didn't,
Yeah.
but I'm saying Goku played a part. If Babidi was with Buu when he met Hercule, Hercule would have died.
Think about it. Buu was gonna do that anyway.
Or
Buu
another
was gonna
thing,
kill Babidi
yeah,
anyway.
but another thing that inspired Majin Buu when he met that blind kid. Right? He met this blind kid.
Yeah.
Kid had only eaten an onion for the past 3 days or
Yeah,
something.
and he gave him candy and cookies and all that good stuff.
Gave him some milk, all of that, fixed his eyes, and he called Buu beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But this is also when he was free of Babidi. That was when you saw the changes already happening. Piccolo brings this up. And that's because Babidi wasn't around. And you're right. He may have killed Babidi at a later time, but he killed Babidi at that moment because of Goku. Android 17. Android 18. They decided, oh, we're not going to kill Goku anymore. His son saved us. His friend saved us. Must not be that bad of a person.
So how is that Goku? Because
That's
his
Goku
son
because-
and his friends,
That's Goku because Goku
they're
trained
good
Gohan in the
guys. They're
hyperbolic time
kind of
chamber.
supposed to. Okay.
They weren't all good guys in the beginning. They changed because of Goku. Like I said, they were all hella selfish, and some of them were bordering on the line of
Gohan
good and bad.
wasn't a good guy, or Trunks.
Gohan was trained by Piccolo and Goku. Piccolo was a villain until he was changed by Goku. I'm not saying that he is the direct reason all this happens, but he has played a part in all of it.
Whatever you.
If you
So with this
if you
stuff,
take
I'm just
these
really not
moments,
seeing
you can trace it all back to Dragon Ball. All of it.
Mars, are you seeing it?
Mars, are
What?
you connecting the
Are
dots?
you seeing the link, yo?
Yeah.
Mars,
How? Explain it.
Yeah,
Explain it, Mars.
yeah, no,
Connect the
yeah,
dots.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Let me put the controller down for.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I mean, I probably won't be able to explain it as good as Nella has already talked about it. But to piggyback off of what Nella just said,
I hate you, Mars. Don't ever say to pick.
What?
I got nothing.
You got nothing, man.
Help, man. You ain't no help.
I got nothing.
Flag on the play. I'm at an unfair disadvantage.
Tayama, yo, chill out, yo.
What do you say?
Chill out, man.
That's funny. Time
Yo.
Ty, hey, that man
That
quoted a
man
big
wild.
factual.
Hey, no, I think Yamcha showed him Timer.
Facts. It's facts. It's
I
snatched his girl,
I think
man.
Yamcha showed him.
But
He's
you-
like,
What's so great about this woman? What's so great about this woman? Oh, I see now.
Yeah, she threw that thing on him. He figured out why.
It's like, just so you know, you're not getting her back. It's my bitch.
Yeah, so if I continue, because I can go on. If I continue,
Whose
Vegeta-
L emote is that?
One
Shofu?
I don't know whose emote that is. but it's-
Shofu? Professor Oak holding that L up, boy. That's fire.
Yeah, he's like, hold this. So Krillin could have killed Vegeta on planet Earth, and Goku told him not to. He was like, "No, don't kill him. We practice forgiveness here." He was like, "We practice forgiveness here. That's not what we're gonna do." So he decides to let Vegeta live. Vegeta tells him, "You're gonna regret it." But when they go to planet Namek, Vegeta saved Krillin and Gohan's life more than once. Could he have done that if he was dead? No.
Did Krillin not die anyway?
Krillin died after Vegeta was dead.
I'm just saying, man.
But I'm saying, but Krillin would have died much sooner, before Goku even got to the planet, if it hadn't been for Vegeta. Same thing with Cell, right? Vegeta played an integral role in Gohan beating Cell.
How so?
You remember when he distracted him long enough for Gohan to blast him? When everybody else kept getting up, messing with Cell while they were doing the Kamehameha War, and Cell just kept like blowing him away. But Vegeta had the only blast strong enough to knock Cell like off his feet for a second. Vegeta was he played a huge role in beating Cell. Also, when he did sacrifice himself to try to kill Majin Buu, that was influenced by Goku.
So I would read. Well, this ain't really. It's kind of a reach, but I would say that that's just Vegeta's character in general. Because even before he met Goku, he didn't give up. He wasn't a give up type of person.
No,
like when Goku beat him, you know what I'm saying?
He was a sore ass loser.
He got in his little he left. You know what I'm saying? He didn't give up. He trained, came back.
None of this has anything to do with Vegeta giving up or not giving up.
How?
This has to do with Vegeta fighting for somebody other than himself.
On the point of him developing, yes, that's a great point for his development. Because yes, Vegeta's very stingy. It's all about me, my ambitions, my goals. Mm-hmm. I will never knock the fact that is a great point for Vegeta. Yes, that was a turning point in Vegeta. Right aside from him crying, saying Frieza made me the man I am today. Because of him, Kakarot. I was just a boy. I can't remember the line, but I remember I was just a boy when it all happened and blah blah blah. So yes, that's always gonna be great. But there are other people who sacrifice themselves in Naruto, and think about Guy's determination. When Guy was willing to, he risked that biscuit to go 8 gates. I mean, full 8 gates. When Sarutobi did the Reaper Death Seal, like there's so many other people that they've taken that plunge, not just for themselves, but for the others around them that they care about.
I don't have to stop on Vegeta. Y'all keep doing this. I'll name one person, and then y'all name 4 from Naruto before I'm finished.
I'm just saying, who else in DBZ
Piccolo
has we know for Gohan only what? Okay, like 2 or 3 times actually, several times for Gohan, but. To that degree, they just
would he have cared at all if Goku hadn't had an influence on him in Dragon Ball? If he had actually gotten his wish of taking over the planet or destroying it? No.
No, we know that he wouldn't have.
But Goku influenced him, which in turn saved his son's life on more than one occasion.
I will agree with you. I will agree with you on that.
The Cell saga brings it all full circle, because when Gohan is going up against Cell with the Kamehamehas, they all go back. Yamcha, Krillin, Tien, Piccolo, all of them go back and talk about how Goku has inspired them to be the way that they are.
Progressive character development. That's all I'm saying. That's what Naruto has over Dragon Ball Z.
It really doesn't, because Naruto is super predictable.
I don't know how you predicted Neji's death. I didn't predict Neji or Jiraiya's death. Those two caught me off guard.
Neji's death wasn't development. Somebody had to go, and they picked Neji. They picked somebody that would hurt, but wouldn't affect the plot too much. We talked about this before you came in here.
Oh, I didn't know. I wasn't privy to the conversation.
Jiraiya's death hurt me. Like I'm not sitting here shitting on Naruto. I love the show. Jiraiya's death rocked me to my core. Even though I knew it was coming, it still hurt. Jiraiya's death really hurt me, but it did not hit me as hard as when he sacrificed himself to kill Majin Buu.
Honorable mention. We forgot about one of the greats. Alongside KDJ, you know, talking about Gar, we forgot about the young green beast himself, though. Mr. Rock Lee.
Rock Lee?
Yes, I failed to mention that man's development through the entirety of the show until they dropped the ball with him. Lee came in
Rock
like
Lee
a
is the
pebble.
Gohan of Naruto.
He's the what?
He's the Gohan of Naruto.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I honestly,
I would go that far.
Because I mean, in that extent, they did drop the ball with. That's what I mean. Like how they dropped the ball with Gohan. Like they built him up to be so great, and then they did the same thing to Gohan. Like they built him up even when he, you know, the movies when BoJack came. I was like, you know, you still kind of a little bitch, Gohan, but you know, you doing your thing in this non-canon movie. And then just like what happened to my Gohan that was strong? But yeah, I kept forgetting Rock Lee's size.
Respect in the manga. It looks like in the manga. You know, Gohan's getting they putting some respect on his name. All three of them.
Finally,
I mean, Master Roshi getting some respect. It looked like, man.
Ultra Instinct Roshi, God tier.
But that's neither here nor there.
Oh yeah, I thought that was crazy. I thought the Ultra Instinct Roshi.
Yeah, that was dope.
That dodge, I was like, see, but they were like, that's not even UI. That just comes from years of experience and age and wisdom. So, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. He always had that potential, though. I thought Master Roshi was a dope character from jump. You know what I'm saying? Just whenever he went like super Roshi, you know what I'm saying?
Bruh,
like,
I'm telling you, Jackie Chun was the fiest I've ever seen Roshi in my life. During Dragon Ball when he had that wig and stuff on.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, because with Naruto, like how they started was completely different from how everyone ended. To me, except for Naruto, but he did grow as a person. Like he wasn't as childish with his values and his goals and his morals and stuff like that. Like everybody's completely different. In Dragon Ball Z, there are a select few that are like different. For the most part, they're the same people. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
But that doesn't mean that the character development is bad. That means you have a preference.
I didn't say it was bad. I just said there's more. Bad and just having less than another show doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, or I'm not trying to say it's bad because it has less than other shows. My bad.
Why is Mars on silence, man? You just don't say
I'm
nothing.
not on silence.
Oh, just jump in. You got nothing to add to the conversation? Quiet mouse?
I'll start arguments and yelling. And
that's fine.
It's very peaceful and very,
No, just look at this like barbershop talk, Mars.
Because because
I know how to get Morris talking, man. Frieza was trash. And
he was trash
compared to Trunks. He lost to Trunks. Trash.
Listen, you can't. This is off topic. We're not gonna go here, okay? We're not gonna go here.
Trash. I don't want to go there either because Frieza is my favorite villain.
Frieza is not trash. Frieza is not trash.
Frieza's the best DBZ villain.
Are you just saying
Dragon Ball villain?
Are you just saying because of longevity? Or because
no, it has nothing to do with longevity. It has to do with achievement.
If he hadn't have been brought back in Super, would he still be your favorite?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hands down. You're a Kid Buu main favorite?
Buu, man.
I'm gonna have to go with Cell, bruh.
A force of nature. Kid Buu is a force of nature.
That's what I'm saying. He was just godly. That's it. And he was playing with Goku at Super Saiyan 3 and all of that. Like, this man was a god. He even actually destroyed the planet.
That is a big fat tie.
Orochimaru is better than Frieza. Wolf James, can you get banned, please? Can somebody ban Wolf?
Who said Orochimaru is better than Frieza?
Orochimaru is not a villain.
He's like an anti-hero, wasn't
he? Yeah, if anything, he's an anti-hero. Orochimaru isn't a villain, but neither is Majin Buu.
How was Buu not a villain though? Super Buu? Super Buu.
Majin Buu wasn't. No.
Super Buu was as prime evil as they get.
No,
Super Buu,
Kid
I would
Buu was
consider a villain. Kid
I
Buu
mean, but I
was a force of
mean,
nature.
man.
He said they chose Frieza because it's easier to keep up. He's easier to keep up.
So
with.
people like to say
Facts.
Cell was the scariest villain at the time. Cell was the strongest villain at the
no,
time.
first form Cell was scary as
Still,
hell, bro. Think about that. He just going
Okay,
around
first
sucking
form
people
Cell-
up.
First
Yo,
form Cell was a
listen.
locust on a mission.
Listen,
Like,
Cell.
That's still
Cell-
scary.
Cell wasn't even a villain.
Cell
just
didn't
wanted-
make it off planet Earth.
That's what he just wanted to beat Goku.
But
Because
Kid
if he
Buu's
beat
interest-
Goku, then what? What would Cell have done? If he would have trashed the Z team, Cell was just like, oh shit, well, there's nothing else for me to do.
He would have destroyed the planet and went to another
No, he
one.
would not have. He would not have destroyed the planet because that was his mission. Was not to destroy the planet. His mission was to kill Goku. That was his whole thing. He was made.
But no,
to
It
kill
was
Goku.
the android's mission to destroy Goku.
He
Cell's
did
wasn't.
tell Goku that if he killed him, he was going to destroy the planet.
Thank
He told him
you.
that if I win the Cell
Thank
game, this is
you.
your chance to defend planet Earth. If you beat me,
But that was just an ultimatum. That was just like, all right, bet. Like,
but my whole thing is,
I see what you're saying, no, but like, yeah,
He
but that
basically
wasn't
said,
like
"You don't
that
fight,
wasn't
y'all
Cell's
gonna
like.
die."
if you
Yeah,
look at it,
pretty
if
much,
you look
yeah.
at what makes a good villain, though, not just how strong he is, just not how many, like not how quickly he destroyed a planet, or not how scary he looked. Frieza had ambitions. Frieza had goals. Frieza had a planet. Frieza had an entire army.
Frieza had universes.
Okay, well, if we're gonna go to that extent, then before we knew Itachi's standpoint, Itachi was a hell of a villain. I mean, a great villain. No, yawn my nuts. No, yawn my nuts. Itachi was a. Do you think about how tactical that man was as a just as a standpoint? Itachi, he wiped out his own village, bruh, and he was
That's
always
it.
3 steps ahead of everybody. But you think about the catastrophic stuff that he could do because of how powerful my man
Pain
was. He
Pain
was a
better
one.
villain than Itachi.
I don't know. I would say early Itachi when they first
Introduced him, yes, he was a hell of a villain, bruh. He was a
hell
great
of a
villain.
fighter. Itachi was a threat, but Nagato was
Bro,
a better villain.
Just think about how Itachi came in,
Frieza is
right?
meant to be kept
Drew,
on
thank you for the host, fam.
My man just had the double Sharingan, just chilling. You know what I'm saying? He
Like I said, he
up.
came in. I'm
All
not
you
saying
could see was the
I'm not saying-
Sharingans.
I'm saying that Itachi was a threat. He was a hell of a threat, but Pain was a better villain.
He was. But I'm saying, I mean, for longevity's sake, Pain was better.
Yeah, we won't knock how Pain was better, but like still,
First impressions, Itachi was that dude. Like he just come in talking calm as ever. You know what I'm saying? That's what really got me.
And Frieza came in
talking calm, yo.
And Frieza was talking all types of shit. Like he's the ultimate shit
Bro,
talker.
I don't discount Frieza, but he ain't as good as Kid Buu, man. Kid Buu didn't even have to talk, bro.
Kid Buu couldn't even talk.
His tongue out at people.
He couldn't even talk.
Kid Buu couldn't talk.
He didn't need to. He
said that man didn't need to talk.
talking, bro. Like, come on, man. When he was first introduced, bro, you know what I'm saying? They thought they was good. They thought they had won. Then they see the
hey, Tack, thank you for the
going
host,
back
man.
together, and my man just standing there. You know what I'm saying? Looking menacing as ever, and then turns and smiles at him, yo. Like, this is not a game, dog. That's what he was telling me.
Okay, here we go.
This
Okay,
ain't over.
so I pulled up a list. It's a 15-point checklist. What makes a good villain?
Got you.
Oh, see, that's somebody else's. See,
No, it's a
It makes
checklist
sense,
though.
though. It makes sense. It
Run the
makes
list.
sense.
Let's see.
Kid Buu didn't
So,
learn how to speak because he never.
He's
found-
vengeful.
Cut it out, Dark.
Was Kid Buu vengeful? No.
Kid Buu was
wasn't.
just a natural disaster. That's what it was.
Was
he was
Frieza
just a
vengeful?
natural god.
Yes, he was.
Frieza was
He's
spiteful. Nah, I'll take Frieza was not vengeful. He was just spiteful. If anything went against his will, he would act that. Frieza was a big ass kid. That's all he was. Everything he did, from his transformations down to the way he talked, was a pompous boast of his superiority complex that he had, because he was a very small person on the inside. That's all I'm just saying.
Wait. So after he was beaten by Goku, what was he focused on? Beating Goku, right? That's vengeance, right?
Vengeance. Check.
Okay, moving on. He's jealous,
Nope.
especially of the hero.
These
Say that
people
again?
apply to Cell
Kid
He
Buu
did.
was not jealous.
so far. So I think what Taiyama said is probably fits. I'm more of a specific situational character for villain. I'm not going with overall mindset. When I want a villain, I want that man to come out OP as a mug, strike fear into people's heart.
And Frieza did that. And Frieza did that.
Not until he hits final form did he do that for me.
Frieza did it, man. They was
Frieza
I ain't gonna front. I ain't gonna hold you up. Second form Frieza had me because I couldn't imagine what got worse.
Second form Frieza is my favorite form.
I couldn't even imagine what got worse past that big old body.
I'm just saying, when he got small and he just looked intimidating, yo, I was like, yo, that joint was fire. But that's a situational type of thing. Overall villain, it'd probably be Cell. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Cell is the better villain.
Keep game because he started off like, hey, I'm finna come in here, wreck everybody. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. He got in there, he was wrecking everybody at first, then he started getting trashed. Then he hit perfect.
The only reason Cell made it to second form is because
Vegeta let him.
And but then if you go back off of what you just said, he came in. Honestly, he's like, I just want to suck up the androids. I don't even want to fool with y'all. Stay out of my way. Just let me get these androids, and we'll be cool.
Yes. This was my main complaint about first form.
Case closed. That's all I'm saying.
Strategic Insomniac, you
about Dragon Ball Z as
terrible
a whole.
guy.
Cell utilized Solar Flare more than any other character did in that show.
That's one of my favorite moves. I ain't gonna hold you up.
It made me so mad. I was just like, Solar Flare is one of the best moves in BBC history, but Cell got them with Solar Flare every other episode.
And dipped.
Because you think about how epic Solar, can we just take, if that's the case, can we take a pause for the cause and acknowledge how great that basic light imaging move is? Solar Flare is a godly move.
People use that mod, yo. Just think about it. They would be froze.
Bruh, Crillon created a super version of Solar Flare.
They could charge up a Kamehameha for 8 episodes if they wanted off of one solar flare. like Dragon Ball Z. Like Tyma said, I can agree with Tyma said. I like Cell the most personally, but I think Frieza's a better villain from a literary standpoint.
So on paper,
yeah, Frieza's a better villain.
Okay, if we're gonna pick Frieza as our pivotal good villain, how does he hold up against Pain? Not Kid Buu.
Against Pain as a villain?
Yes. Or even Madara.
Madara's different. Okay, I can get into the Madara talk. Him and Pain is, like I said before, he's one of those villains for the greater good. Frieza ain't doing that. Frieza has his own selfish ambitions that he's trying to fulfill. That makes him more of a villain.
Even Madara, when he first came out, bruh, and they had everybody run up on Madara.
Madara fits KDJ's description of a villain to the T.
That's why I like him.
Because he showed up out of nowhere, and I mean, he washed the whole ninja.
Dominating presence.
Bro, when he hit that that quick glance at everybody, yo, when they zoomed in on his face and like panned that mug while he was looking around, like trashing it, bro. That was
I will say Dragon Ball Z had in likeness. This was Cell's final form. When they all showed up and tried to punch him, fight him, he was like, "Go on, children, have your fun."
It was godly, bro.
But Frieza had a reputation throughout that entire galaxy. He had an entire reputation where people feared and respected him.
I mean, Madara had the same thing.
I mean, did he?
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout a planet.
People knew who Madara was.
People knew who Frieza was.
This is true.
We gotta keep it. I put it like this: if we gotta find a way to stop putting the interplanetary scale of it, because only why this is because Naruto's world only spans. They're just now getting into other planet type stuff with the old.
But what did KDJ say earlier? Whose fault is that?
But I mean, as far as scope goes, they both have the same scope. It's just one is on a universal, one is on a planetary. Let's just go with that.
Okay, so they still balance and then no.
Yes.
Frieza's a meme. Dark, you're a meme.
Frieza is a meme.
We've been at this for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Good God.
I'm gonna propose that we call a ceasefire here,
and just
move into something else. Agree
that
to
Kid Buu
disagree.
is that dude. But yeah, for sure.
He said agree to Kid Buu is that dude. All right, well, Trey, what else? Okay, for everybody that's listening, we've covered the DBZ Naruto debacle. It ended with
A stalemate.
pretty much, because it's always going to be divided amongst the community, no matter how you look at it. Whether it's us, you're listening to it, or any other group of people, even amongst your own friends, this is one that people still can't really give a definitive answer to. And I say this now because when Boruto finishes, I feel like we'll have a better way to wrap in who has the more influence, because Boruto will expand Naruto's universe just a little bit more. But Nelly Trey, what you got on the list?
Broly's character development by that time.
Yeah, we can talk about Broly by that time too.
So I will talk about what I want to talk about. Actually, no, we're not going to do tops at all. We're not going to do tops. Just think of an anime or manga that you thought had good plot and character development, and then tell me why. Just think of one. It doesn't have to be your favorite. It doesn't have to be the number one for you. Just one that you think had good character and plot development. Since the competition is just information.
0.
Shaman King. I'm going with Shaman King.
Okay, we got Shaman King ReZero. KDJ, go ahead and tell us why.
Shaman King and ReZero? What?
ReZero, bro. Because my man Subaru, right? He came into this other world, first off, really confident. Because he's thinking, oh, it's going to be like every other anime and manga that I've read and seen. You know what I'm saying? A new dude in a new world. He's obviously going to be strong. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make
That's what I thought too. I was like, by episode 4, I'm like, where are his powers at? Yo?
Exactly.
I was getting mad.
And then my man realizes that's not what this is.
That's not what's happening. That's not what's happening.
Fairy tale, bro. And he realizes, man, I keep dying. I keep establishing these relationships and I keep dying and they just go away. And then
that man teetered on the edge of insanity.
Yes,
for 4 episodes.
For a cool 4. This man couldn't even speak in complete sentences, bro. He couldn't even talk.
He was messed up.
He was in that motherfucker. every time.
Hold on, KJ, do the sound again. Do the sound again.
He was in that my man was gone, bro. Gone. But then, like, by the end, he learns like how to use this terrible curse in a way that can benefit him and the world. You know what I mean? And then I don't even have to talk about Rem and Ram's character development.
Rem best girl, hands down.
Yeah, Rem, most loyal. Like, she crawled to this man with broken arms and legs,
which is a godly act of itself.
Oh my God, yo. And then Ram also had great character development because she didn't trust my man Subaru. She didn't trust nobody really except for the little magician dude. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
Tokyo Ghoul's good too.
What's up?
Oh no, just chat. Strategic Insomniac, like Tokyo Ghoul's a good one. I was like, I was just agreeing.
Oh yeah, nah, that was godly. But yeah, nah, but Ram, but I mean that's neither here nor there. And then, I mean, it's just a great show, man. Character development wise, story wise, all that.
Tez, what about you? Can you explain Shaman King, please?
Shaman King.
I might have lost that one.
You ain't never seen Shaman King? Oh, okay.
I watched Shaman King.
The only reason why I'm saying this is because I'm gonna put it from the aspect of reading, because reading wise, I love the way it was. Because from Shaman King, watching it compared to how I read it, it continued past like how we got Shippuden for Naruto. Shaman King almost had a complete reboot of its tournament, which made me fall more in love with the show. Almost like Kai. That's the best way to put it. It was like a DBZ Kai, but like a Shaman King thing. So that's why I picked Shaman King. So you got Yo Asakura. They live in a world where spirit mediums can actually, channel these things into themselves and or weapons.
Short version.
Oh, I am. This is a short version. But I mean, what made it so great, just saying what made it so great was for me is like you see Yo go through all the trials and tribulations of, his family matters, the thing with being a spirit medium, his friends, creating his knit type group of people, and most of the people whom he gained as a friend were people he went through battles with or had quote unquote beef with, and then they, come together amidst this tournament. From the first portion of the tournament to the second half of the tournament, and then thus into a third tournament that came about so great because not only do you get to see Yo grow. You do see the growth of all his companions. You see all their backstories. You see how they intermingle. But in the midst of it, it's not, they require no time skip to actually have real life development and relationships and, you know, things form that we on the outside actually experience. So you see love, you see pain, you see anguish. I was just like, I'm reading this now. This is what I'm saying. From reading this, I'm like, bro, I wish this would have become animated. So I just picked Shaman King because it's never really talked about that much.
Maybe I should have read it.
Because yeah, I said like reading and watching it completely different. Like the second half of like the third portion of the Shaman King tournament, which was a whole nother tournament. Like
Forgotten in the Grave, Shaman King American theme song was fire.
Mars, what's your?
It was alright. I mean, but if I can,
stuck.
I was gonna say Attack on Titan though. If I had to give one as far as me watching it, boy, Attack on Titan. I mean, I read and watch. Sorry, go ahead, Mars.
Mars, what's yours, man?
I'm stuck between two, Code Geass and Gurren Lagann. Be the two that I was
crazy.
Boy, them are great.
Neither one of those, bro.
Damn,
I know.
Those are great.
I gotta get my weed card back. I know.
Yeah, man.
Just put it on the table and turn it around.
Yeah, Gurren Lagann was sleeping.
Yeah, bro.
It would be for especially character development and Gurren Lagann, unbelievable. So in Code Geass as well. But if I really had to pick, I probably will pick Code Geass for it because the character development with Lelouch, C2, I can't remember all their names. Yo, the chick with the red hair, I think it's like Sakura somehow. His homeboy, like every character in that show from the first episode all has changed throughout the whole like. I can't. I don't want to spoil it.
Damn, bro.
I don't want to spoil it for KDJ, but a lot of things happened in that show.
I didn't finish Code Geass. I think I got towards like halfway in and I didn't finish it.
Nah, Code Geass is like hands down my favorite anime.
I finished Gurren Lagann. Like my cousin made that mandatory for me to watch as a kid, but Geass, I cut the halfway mark. But it was still good.
Shit, I was like, did his own brother snatch? You're talking about Shaman King.
My other one would have been Darling in the Franxx, man.
I'm still working my way through Code Geass, but I definitely know where Mars is coming.
Darling in the Franxx, so good. It's just lovely.
The character development in that one,
I'm telling you, boy, Darling in the Franxx.
I never watched that.
Man, you need to, bro. I kept KDJ. I put you up on game, bro.
That one was excellent, bro. Like the last 3 episodes kind of threw me off, but the last one was still.
Suzaku, that's what it is on here. That was.
But what's yours, Nella? My bad, man.
For me, I would have to say, and a lot of people haven't seen this anime, and if you haven't, I recommend you go watch it today.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Bakano.
Bakano. Let me look that up. I don't think I heard that one.
It's on that list you sent me, Ted.
Is it is there an American name of it?
Bakano no Hero?
No. Baccano. Bakano. Just some quotes people have from a best ending in an anime ever. Yes, even better than my favorite, Cowboy Bebop. Watch this anime, I mean it. It is one of the best anime ever created. Love this, great plot. I think in terms of plot, Baccano's is one of the best. It's solid and consistent, especially if we keep in mind
do I have to delete both of them?
With their own story. And the beauty of it is that we don't fully understand everything until the very end. So Baccano it's a shorter anime. It's not super lengthy. But the way they develop all the characters, like there are over 8 characters being developed in this anime. They do it so skillfully in such a short amount of time, and the whole plot comes full circle at the end and just completely blows your mind. And it is the story. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, so I'm trying to be light with it.
Oh, never mind. I didn't see that.
The story is incredibly good. The music is good. The intro go hard.
Dark, are you really watching Detective Conan?
I didn't even think to watch Baccano at all until my roommate we were doing things where he would watch anime I recommended, and then I would recommend. That's how I came across Code Geass. That's how I came across Baccano. That's how I came across Da-da-da-da. I came across all of those thanks to my roommate. Same thing with the Fate series, Fate Zero, Fate Cali, Fate Stay Night.
I love the Fate series.
Bro, they fighting, like bro. Their animation,
their animation is beautiful, Mars.
No, I'm not saying no. That's what the animation for for the Fate series, man, you really have to pay attention and watch a couple of them over.
Yeah, you have
to
to
understand what's going. Yes,
and I like
you
that
do.
about it.
And Mars isn't good at paying attention.
Nope.
No, it's not. Look, if y'all don't know me by now, shonen is the way to go for me. If straightforward fighting fisticuffs, you know, I like a good story here and there, but I'm a basic bitch when it comes to anime. I ain't gonna lie.
Parasite is another one though. We're talking about plot and development.
What's another?
Parasite is really good too.
Oh, the one with the kid and the parasite in his hand and stuff.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
My man's put me on to that. I still ain't finished it though.
Parasite is hard.
Bro,
just
have y'all
two
seen
characters.
Zammed?
Oh no, I know what it
haven't
is.
seen that.
I ain't watch it though.
Oh man, that anime was low key fire. It used to be on Netflix like I say
Yeah, I
like
think
5 years ago,
That's
5,
right.
6. And that mall was excellent, bro. Like as far as character development and like story, like there wasn't a lot of action, but like great character development.
Two anime characters I think had the best development in anything, hands down. Killua and Meruem from Hunter x Hunter.
And who?
I still ain't watched Hunter x Hunter.
Killua and King Meruem.
Oh yeah.
I think those two characters had some of the best development in any anime, period. Just those specific two characters. The plot is good. I like the plot, but those two characters' development is on a completely different level than everyone else.
You ain't watch.
I know, bro.
Yo, you just named three animes that I'm questioning you for, man.
It's because like I wasn't really into anime like that until like, you know what I'm saying, like a couple years ago.
If I had to give,
let that man
Because
live.
I kept seeing new ones, so I ain't had time to go back and watch like.
that's where you always get caught up. You just have to catalog and go back. But if I had to do my honorable mention of two characters who had great development, I'm gonna have to go with Kazuma and Ryuho from S. Cried.
S. Cried, bro.
S. Cried was dope, man.
That's the joint, yo. That
was dope, man.
And people don't know about it. That's the thing.
They don't.
And I don't see how. It used to come on Adult Swim.
That's how I watched it.
That's how I watched it.
That's
I'm talking about them boys. Them boys developed in such a crazy way.
What do you called you a loser? Dark Presence.
Ooh, Witchblade. Yes, Drake. Witchblade. People thought it was just all fan service, but that anime was excellent.
Witchblade was godly too.
Yes.
What,
Bro, and
who here
even
hasn't seen
like
Hunter x Hunter? Who here hadn't seen it?
KDJ.
Oh,
No, I watched it. Okay. But I mean, I watched mine in the beginning.
I watched it from the old one, then I watched it from the remake of the newer ones too.
I watched the 2011 remake first, but
That's what I watched too.
I was on leave, and when I tell you I didn't get any sleep for a week, I couldn't stop watching it. But KJ, watch it as soon as possible. The last arc made me ugly cry. It's the only anime that's ever made me ugly cry. Not just one thug tear, I ugly cry.
My hero almost gets you there. Oh,
Yeah.
Bruh, United States of
Hero
Smash.
My hero is a different type of cry, though. It gets me to cry just because I'm just so pumped and emotional. This one made me cry because I was just sad. Like,
I ain't gonna hold you. I almost ugly cried on ReZero too, man. With the
ReZero almost got me. Spice and Wolf and ReZero both almost.
Beetlejuice, man.
Goose. They come to you.
Bruh, that man there was just, bruh. That whole.
That man, he just made my skin crawl. Like,
yes, that
I
whole part was
hated it.
just so creepy, bro, but excellent at the same time. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, just for atmosphere, that was the best like anime, like part of an anime I've ever seen for atmosphere. Like just a creepy atmosphere and just getting you to feel like how he felt. Man,
I'd probably say one of the most intimidating atmospheres created in an anime, when I think about it, was Aizen.
What?
Aizen from Bleach.
Aizen from Bleach created a genuine sense of fear in me.
I would say even Grimjow when he first got introduced.
Bruh, the little kid from Paranoia Agent used to give me some type of
The
fear.
golden bat dude. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
The little kid on the skates, bruh.
Yeah.
I used to be in my house tripping balls.
Had me tripping.
Bruh, people didn't know what I was talking about when I said that too. That I used to love that joint. Bruh, this is why y'all my people, man.
Yeah, but Aizen came in so OP, and I was just like, yo, this ain't fair no more.
Yeah.
when he showed up, I'm like, yo, how you just gonna shit on the captain?
But then the same can also be said for All For One's entrance, yo.
Yeah, All For One came through and felt like a real threat. Like,
Bruh, All For One's theme music, bro,
godly.
just
It was almost
ominous.
as crazy as the Witch's theme from ReZero. But you know,
he would have been one of my favorite.
Yeah, they should have
in the
kept
show
it longer, yo.
He would have been like, because he came out and just looked at everybody, and everybody was dead. Like
Genuine fear, bro.
Like that shit was crazy, man.
Genuine fear. But yeah.
I like Shishio from Rurouni Kenshin too. Cat with the bandages.
Oh yeah, he was dope.
Shishio,
he was dope.
Was a beast.
I might want to sneak in and got grocery shopping, cooking first. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I gotta go grocery shopping and move in.
Gotta go do all this stuff.
Yes.
Yes, All For One came. He popped on it. All For One slid up out the cut,
bro. And then he just flexed, and
yeah,
everybody died,
so
bro.
Yeah, he did it so smooth.
He flex and kill everybody, bro. That stuff was crazy.
I actually like Stain a lot.
Oh yeah, Stain.
I like Stain, even though he reminded me of Raphael from Ninja Turtles. Bad. I like
he
Stain.
ain't have no nose.
He said no nose.
Bro, look at Stain's picture. Tell me he got a nose.
I mean, he might have. Could have just been like Krillin. It's there, but you don't know where it's at.
What are you sniffing?
I like Taguro from Yu Yu Hakusho too.
Taguro, man, like fully transformed Taguro, or just like regular base form Taguro?
I just liked his character in general. I just liked his character. I just really liked his character.
Great point of development. The most developed character in all of Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm gonna have to say hands down, was Kuwabara. Kuwabara, hands down. My man started off as a straight L holder and became a god.
Yeah, was hanging with people that weren't like him at all. He was the only real human in all of them situations.
Yo,
I was too young for you, man. But I mean,
that's one of my favorite anime.
I still watched it. Like I watched all of it. I just don't remember much because I was young. You know what I mean?
Urameshi.
Dark said,
Kuwabara, man.
KDJ, Dark said you look like the dark-skinned Stain.
Wow.
Oh, well, I influenced a whole city, a whole world, boy. What you mean?
That's a compliment, huh?
Because I get that influence, yeah. I ain't tripping.
Man,
I don't even know what Dark looked like. He probably looked like a medium skinned Crillon, and he want to talk about.
He said a medium skin.
We still on no noses. We still on no noses.
Yeah, bro. He gonna say I ain't got a nose. He ain't got a nose. How about that? Miguel ain't even got a face. That's the crazy part. He's like All For One.
Oh, Priscilla.
Wow.
Priscilla from Claymore.
What the Miguel face look like?
I never watched Claymore.
Oh.
I know.
If you can get over Rocky's annoying voice in the English dub,
oh, there's an English version?
Yeah.
I know.
But
Did you know the noseless thing is an actual trope in anime and manga?
What?
There's a particular it's also like how certain type of genre there is a trope for noseless people. But apparently, and it's the craziest thing, I just threw this in sidetrack. Noseless people have the strongest sense of smell in the shows, even though they have no nose.
Get out.
I swear.
It's the sensory organs. They hear real good.
They got that Voldemort
out here.
They can taste the smells.
I just thought that was a little funny tidbit to throw in there, guys. I'm just saying.
Well, Dreg, what you're saying about All For One, Orochimaru did that same thing to Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura when he first hit the scene. And Kakashi. They all saw their own deaths before they happened.
With Orochimaru?
Had him stuck. Yeah, you remember when they first ran into Orochimaru when he was faking to be a ninja?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And when Sasuke threatened Orochimaru, Orochimaru did the same thing to him.
Ouch.
He could see his death coming. He was like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, talking all that smack.
The death flag flew high in the sky.
Like any character that can instill that type of fear, like Kenpachi Zaraki did to Ichigo and Bleach.
Kenpachi, yeah.
Kenpachi's that dude.
Full tail, yo.
See you, Drew.
Same voice actor as Jiraiya.
Kenpachi. Kenny.
All right, Drake, appreciate you coming by, man. Good talk.
Yeah, man, always. Kenpachi, though. That's another person who,
He was, Joe.
in his own right, had okay development as far as the manga. They didn't really develop much in the anime. Kenpachi grew. He grew. All right, if we still just on the premise of plot and, just development. Well, as far as the development, who would you guys say was the most developed villain overall? Now, standing from, just pick and choose. Even if you have a bit of their backstory to tie into how they became who they were that led them to the end point, what made them the best developed villain in your opinion? If they do have a backstory that ties into it.
I'll go Lelouch.
Explain.
Yes.
Go ahead, explain, Mars.
And once again, it's.
Wait, what was Mars' answer? I was talking.
He said Lelouch.
Lelouch Lamperouge.
Lelouch Lamperouge. Villa de Britannia.
All right, Mars.
All right.
I mean, only reason I say that is because pretty much the whole show is based around him. And I'm like, once again, I don't want to spoil him too much for KDJ for the show, but y'all can't tell me his villainry is like it. But the whole show is about him. That's why. It's his whole background story, his whole life. No, y'all don't like that?
I wouldn't call Mars' choice a bad one. I can see where he's coming from with Lelouch.
I wish I was able to talk more about it.
But as much of the series I've seen, though, it's still hard for me to call him a villain.
I mean,
you can slowly see his transformation into a villain.
That's why I think it's like the best, because he doesn't start off like that. You know what I'm saying? Then throughout the whole series, it just gets worse and worse. Oh man, I gotta rewatch that. That show's so good.
I want to hear Taz's.
Mars, your explanation is low tier. I can't talk about too much.
Me? All right, I'm just gonna say Light.
For best villain?
Yeah, from Death Note. I'm gonna say no. I'm just saying he's one of my. I feel like he's a really good developed villain. Like Light. Like Light started out as someone who believed he was doing right, but he ended up with the power, going to his head. And when he finally dies, he isn't even in possession of the Death Note, so he's technically powerless. Put all his faith into something like a fanboy, basically. And he managed to trick L and believe, he wasn't care at the very end. But
he was.
I like Ryuk more than Light.
Yeah, hands down.
Because
Ryuk thought he was doing the right thing.
Ryuk told Light at the beginning. He was like, at one point, I'm gonna be writing your name in my Death Note. Light thought it was a game. Because right there at the end, you see what happens.
But,
well, I'm just saying, as developing into a good villain, he developed into a great villain, though.
I would say not necessarily him developing into a great villain. I think him and L's rivalry developed well.
Yeah,
that is factual. They had a very good rivalry. Like it was
my
all
favorite part
mind
of the
games
series.
too. That was one of the favorite parts for me, just the mind games. I'm like, okay, so what's happening
When he
next?
touched that piece of the note in his watch, I lost my mind.
yes, yo,
I lost my mind.
All his memories of the note just to reclaim them on purpose at the perfect moment. Like what?
Like who thinks that far ahead? I was like, that was crazy to me. Because it made sense too. It wasn't just out of they didn't pull it out their ass. It made sense. I was like, this is crazy.
That was just a god.
That's what the power of thinking gets you, man.
But then even whatchamacallit, my man's whole thought process of having the people that were underneath him that were just as smart coming in to catch Light. You know what I'm saying? Like who thinks that far ahead? Like he just knew that his underlings, his friends at the little whatchamacallit, at the home or the shelter, where they all grew up. What was it a academy or was that a shelter? Like
it was like an orphanage.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like an orphanage of sorts.
So the dude underneath him at the orphanage that wasn't as smart, but was basically, you know,
talking about near
like his understudy. Yeah, bro. I'm just saying.
I was just mad when Elle wasn't in the show no more. Like I was pretty salty about that.
Because Elle's thought process to think that far ahead, to just know that he would come in and catch light.
Completely off subject, but I was just looking at like the people I follow on Twitch, and I looked at 1 second and Ninja had like 100,000, and then I looked again and it went down to 85,000. Is that what ads does to people?
I guess so.
Like I feel like he took an ad break and 15,000 people was like, I'm out.
But that's still an ignorant amount of people.
Yeah, that's still a ridiculous amount of people.
Bruh.
Still. But
A Seagull the other day, he had 102,000. You know, I'm like, bro, that's a lot of folks for some Overwatch stuff.
That's still crazy, bro. But yeah.
KDJ hasn't given us his yet, has he?
No, not yet.
Oh, for best villain development.
Yeah, I'm going last.
Let me see, man. Because, like, I don't think it should be a question that I answer, honestly. Because, like I told you, I'm more of a situational people.
Oh, okay.
Like, situational person. So, if they come in and just strike fear in people's heart, like, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not really looking for development.
Okay,
I'm just saying, if you had to say, then who was a good developed villain in your opinion?
Yeah, the way you see it. I'll tell you what, not who's a good developer. What villain do you think best just came in and struck fear into everyone besides Madara?
I mean, I already kind of answered that, you know what I'm saying?
Because that's what I'm saying. We spoke about that. Oh, Kid Buu. All right.
Yeah, man, out of here with that.
Yo, it's real.
So I have one that struck fear into people's hearts and had good development, and I'm going back to King Metal.
I was about to say, I knew that was yours.
Yeah, because he came in like the second he was born,
He was awesome.
everybody could feel it. Like they were like, the world just ended. Like as soon as he was born, they were like, oh, I think we ain't on top of the food chain no more. But his development was just so good. You see him go from this merciless. If you don't end this chat already, you see him go from this merciless, just overpowered creature. Like he was murdering kids, he was murdering people, he did not care. And you see his human side start to come into play. You see him start to become more human. He starts to feel by meeting a human that he actually could stand to be around for more than 5 minutes. And you see his human side taking over his ant side. So he's more man than beast at this point. And by the time you see his full development at the end, you catch yourself at moments on his side rather than what you think is your image of what the good person is, which is humanity at that point. But by the end of the series, you're looking at humanity villain. By the time it's over, you're like, okay, the humans are in the wrong here, because you see his values, you see what he's going for, and I found myself rooting for him. If a villain can get me on their side, that's a big deal.
Frieza.
Oh yeah,
Frieza never got me on his side.
Frieza never had me on his side.
Mars.
So
Frieza was calling folks monkey. I ain't with that.
Yeah, bro. He
it wasn't black, no.
No, Piccolo was, but still.
I mean, were they not though? Really, Mars?
I thought of villain, right? So I forgot about my man, right?
Yeah,
Alexander Anderson from goddamn Hellsing Ultimate, yo.
I never watched that.
Oddly villain, bro.
You haven't watched Hellsing Ultimate?
Came in,
No,
that anime was low key.
Hey, Mars, spoiler alert. Alucard is Dracula backwards.
Oh, snap.
That's crazy. Oh, man. Alexander Anderson was that dude when he pulled up, bro. Cause shit, he started Thraxing on the card. First, yo.
He said Thraxing.
From JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I need to watch that show.
Oh yeah, I ain't watched JoJo's.
Oh, man.
Y'all missed out. Twitch was playing that thing from the beginning.
Bro,
That's how I named my dog, yo. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I named my dog from Chopper, One Piece.
Get out of
so
here.
cool.
We could discuss One Piece at a whole nother later date.
I don't watch One Piece, so I'll probably have to we've been at this from
What?
About 3 hours, bro.
Yeah, we cap it on 3 hours.
Don't even do it, bro.
I'm not.
But when y'all do talk about that, you should bring Tack in because he all caught up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, One Piece. Yeah.
JoJo is good at pulling out scary villains. Their villains feel.
The abilities in JoJo just always catch me off guard. The different stands. I'm like, bro, everybody's stand is something unique.
I just love how over the top the anime is. All those poses and just the excessive voice acting. I love it.
That shit. Everybody in the Jotaro family has to do that when they fight.
Yeah, that's my donation alert.
Like that's the Jotaro family sound.
Does Kingdom Hearts count as an anime?
No.
It's a manga.
Is it?
Yeah.
So would it count
I
as
could
an
say
anime?
Legend of Zelda counts.
I mean, does Zelda have a manga?
It does.
It does too.
And Link actually talks. Imagine that.
So are they technically anime games?
I mean, some are. There are some.
Ganondorf is an incredible villain.
Like Ruby.
Ruby
is just a game first originally.
Cause you know my man Xehanort and all them, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be a whole other can of worms.
Happy Mask Salesman is a good villain. From Majora's Mask.
Did y'all? Speaking of Majora's Mask, off topic a bit. Skull Kid might be in Smash Brothers.
He's an assist trophy.
Nah, it was a leak just yesterday.
Folks out here leaking stuff. Oh man.
Look,
Yeah, that's what
I'm mad that they made Bomberman and Shovel Knight assist trophies. I wanted those two to be in the game.
But that's what they're saying. It was like, well, these trophies have potential to be in the game because a couple other assist trophies became.
If that's the case, Waluigi should have been in the game a while ago.
Nobody cares about Waluigi.
You bite your tongue.
Bruh, I would just like to see Shy Guy put in the game. Whoa, bro, I'm telling you, you can imagine how disrespectful it'll be if you knock somebody off the screen, like, whoa, like, bro, so much disrespect.
Fully left. With
Yeah, we did. We went in a completely different direction.
Yeah, man, but I guess we came to the conclusion that in development in the anime and manga world, it's apples and oranges. Everybody's got their views and picks. Cause we've been at this almost 3 hours. We got our lists out, got our talk on, had our argument. I had to bring in my backup because y'all wasn't gonna keep me in this corner. I had to bring in Sergeant Durag to let y'all know for the one time.
Man, you talking like I had help from Mars the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't have no help from Mars.
I'm not even gonna sit here and be like, nah, you had it.
Mars was just here to argue Frieza, and that was it.
Mars only needed to let Frieza be heard.
What threw me off is like the whole thing is when Nella was on my side. Well, here goes my whole thing. Like,
I was not expecting that at all.
So
like,
I wanted to pick DBZ too because it was the unpopular opinion. But can you imagine how this talk would have gone if me and you had both gone Naruto?
It would have been a whole lot of yelling. It would have been a whole lot of yelling.
Mars would have just started yelling because like people yell when they start to lose.
That would be Mars because he wins every argument. Yeah.
I just yelled. But it would have been a wrap. But once Nella's like, he said Dragon Ball. Well, okay. Nothing else I can say.
You could have said something, baby.
But
Nella was hitting on. That's what I'm saying. Like Nella was saying.
Mars couldn't even bring in those facts, so I
didn't want to sound redundant or repetitive,
or stupid.
The only reason I was able to do that is because I don't know if y'all remember way back when they started releasing those box sets of the seasons, like remastered.
Yeah, the HD version.
So I bought all of those as they came out. Like the whole thing made the image of the dragon. Yeah. So since I had all those DVDs on weekends, I didn't work weekends. So if I was being a homebody or cleaning up, I would just start. If I didn't have anything to watch, I'd start from episode 1 of DBZ and watch it through over the weekend. And I've done that more than 20 times.
Jesus.
Oh, damn.
So I even had a bet with my friends that I could quote a whole episode as it was going through for $100.
That was an easy $100.
Easy $100. I even let them pick the episode.
All right, note to self: never argue DBZ with no one. It's cool.
I've watched it so much because Yig was like, Nella, it's just with Dragon Ball because I've watched it so many times.
Facts.
Like so many times that I can remember every little detail from. I've watched Naruto through like 4 times.
I've watched Shippuden through several times.
I like to go back and watch them and try to pick up details I may have missed before, especially with that knowledge you have can happen next. Try to catch the foreshadowing and everything.
Mm-hmm. Wondering like, damn, why didn't I see that happen in the first time around?
Yeah, like, man, they explained it. They foreshadowed this in the second episode. How did I not notice this?
Man, today's been a good one though.
Yeah.
Today was a very charged discussion.
Yes, it was, man. But that's good. That's good conversation.
I just want to say, man, people shit on so much simply because they don't watch it. But One Piece is the craziest character development and really cool villains.
Mars, don't start this conversation.
I just don't want to watch One Piece, Mars. I have zero.
That was dark.
I'm telling you, Trey.
But
it's slow to build. I will give you that because I had a hard time with it.
It is.
I recommend watching it though. That's all I'm saying.
And it's too at this point it's too long. Like Naruto and Bleach burned me out a long time ago on like super long animes. I don't want to sit and have to watch all of them. If I
you don't just cut the fillers. I would tell you do the exact same thing with One Piece. Cut the fillers out because they're not a lot of them, but cut them out and they'll shorten the load at least by 400 episodes.
The anime that hurt my feelings was Terraformers. Terraformers had so much potential.
Man, that show just rubbed me wrong.
It had a lot of the concept was so good, and then they just ruined it. Same with Kenichi the Mighty's Disciple.
Man,
so much potential.
that show, man.
Kenichi was God.
Kenichi was. I wish they would have finished.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Someone's at my door.
I wish they would have finished Kenichi so bad, man.
I do too, man. I wish. Like, that's the same way I feel about Hitman Reborn. Hitman Reborn is another one of those shows that's slow to build, but once you get into it, it rises and just keeps rising, and then you get all these different emotions and backstory and world build, and I'm just like, I'm actually rewatching it now. Like, when we end the podcast here in a bit, I'm probably gonna turn that on, and I just gotta do house chores and stuff before I go to the gym and come back, and hopefully we'll be hopping into Civ if y'all ain't playing anything else for a while.
Playing Uno or Monopoly is. Yeah,
that's cool. I can grab both of those too. They cheap.
They $7 all together right now, both of them.
Uno and Monopoly.
Yeah, Uno is $250. Monopoly is $375 right now.
Y'all should just get Tabletop Simulator.
Does it have both of those in there or something?
It's got all of them.
It's got all of it.
But
I was just playing Tabletop Simulator yesterday as a game called Munchkin. Y'all should play that. It's fun, but it will cause y'all to be mad at each other by the end.
These are $7 though, all together.
Yeah, tabletop is 20, but you get a lot more games.
I ain't got that right now, baby.
That's a quarter tank of gas, Ted.
I paid some bills. And...
But wait, for who? That's dang near a full tank for me.
What
kind of car you driving?
What do you drive? A smart car?
No, bro. I got a good old Avalon. You know what I'm saying? Ultimate Edition was technically like the platinum.
Toyota Avalon. All right.
Yeah.
I drive a Chevy Silverado
and a 6-cylinder at the same time. It's beautiful. I love it.
I drive a Silverado. And it
you out your mind?
Yeah, it costs me quite a bit of money to fill up my tank.
You out your mind?
Y'all tripping? I don't even drive that. But
gas.
Let me have closing statements because we've been at this 3 hours, man. What y'all gotta let the world know, let the people know. Tell them.
All right, I'll go first. It's Almighty King Mars here with my closing statements. I just want to say Dragon Ball Z is God tier. It beats every man alive, so there's that. Tez is a good show. I like listening to it. If you want to check me out on Twitch, Almighty King Mars Twitch.com, whatever it is, that's where I'm at. That's all you need to know about me. Okay, I'm done.
KJ.
Well, I got one thing to say. I walk in godly form amongst the mortal men. All right.
Come on, bro. Come on, man.
What's going on?
Oh my god.
Next.
Oh, okay. Appreciate y'all watching. As co-host of this show, I want to personally thank y'all. Thank you so much for participating in the conversation. Remember, it's all good fun. Like, even if we get heated, we're not going to take this outside of.
Oh, never.
Outside of the stream, we're not going to be bitter about it later.
Oh no,
Everybody's entitled to their opinions. Mars is petty. But,
Super King Petty.
But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Like, we really enjoy doing this. I just like having people to discuss this stuff with, especially ones that can rebut what I have to say and actually have a debate about it. You know, it makes it interesting, keeps you on your toes, lets you know how much you really know about the anime you're trying to defend.
Welcome, bro.
So I appreciate that. And yeah, I stream too, twitch.tv/NellaTrey. Feel free to join the Never Game Alone Discord, where we could continue to talk about this stuff in length via text or voice. You can also just make sure y'all check out any Mars clips on his YouTube channel, like just Moments with Mars. Because if you're ever having a bad day, just go to his YouTube or go to his channel and look up clips and just help improve your day, because it improves mine.
Really? I have never done that before.
Whenever I'm down and I need a good laugh, I look at Mars clips.
Oh my
because they are absolutely hilarious. Find the one with the millipede. It's gold. The one with the millipede is gold. The chopper one is gold. Yeah, so check those. Also, check out his Monster Hunter one when him and CK were there fighting, and CK was trying to cook a piece of meat. Check that out. Those are all incredible clips. They're amazing. So check those out if you're ever having a bad day.
Thanks,
and stick around, because eventually we gonna all get in a work.
We're gonna get into what now? You cut out.
This work. Everybody can get this work. And Mario Kart.
What work?
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
I don't think has Mars played with us once, Tez?
I don't think so.
I played with Tez, and Tez beat.
Because I can't say that about KDJ no more, because he was saying that when D hopped in and showed up.
Listen,
showed out.
I'm ready for Mario Kart.
As my closing remarks go, I'd like to thank everybody who came through, anybody that supported Taco for dropping bits, Strategic Insomniac from the Facebook group that I posted, and thank you for coming through, man. I also appreciate you for the follow. Yig and Drew, thank you guys for the hosts. Like you said, man, we love to do this. This is for, you guys, from us to you guys, because we enjoy this, having good debates. It's all in good fun. Nothing ever taken from it outside of this is like, negative energy. It's all good energy. But right now, if you guys don't know, Mars is doing a 24-hour stream along with the rest of the NGA. Everyone will be in and out of his stream or our individual streams just as a collective for 24 hours. So you can also tune in to Mars right now and still hear myself and a few of the other guys who you may or may not know of. And we'll just be hanging out there playing games throughout an entirety of 24 hours if we can. I don't know. I'm kind of old, so I might go to sleep. But yeah, man, I'll see y'all there, and I'll hopefully catch y'all back here in the following Saturday. Be on the lookout for anything that's up on the YouTube channel coming. We got some good stuff coming there soon. And I'm gonna holler at y'all next time, man. Peace.
Peace.